and never one to be left behind, and attentive Lance Armstrong was among them. Noticeably missing from the lead group, 2007 Tour de France champion Alberto Contador, one of many top contenders. Colombia's high pace paid off as superstar sprinter Mark Cavendish seized yet another stage. But more importantly, the race for yellow saw its first statement. Armstrong's group finished 41 seconds ahead of the peloton, landing Lance in third overall and potentially fueling the rift growing within Team Astana. Yes, the game has changed. It's a whole new tour. Join us as the drama unfolds. The Tour de France is up next on Versus. A day after the combination of wind and Colombia's powertrain ripped apart the peloton, perhaps the winds of change will blow today in terms of the yellow jersey. Team Astana seems poised to pounce. Hello again, everybody. Welcome to our Cadillac pre-race show, along with a statistically bountiful Bob Roll. I am Craig Hummer, and Bob, you know this. Yellow is on everyone's mind, it seems, lately for a variety of reasons. The yellow and white of Colombia, they take another stage yesterday. The yellow jersey, perhaps, and realistically, could change hands. The yellow color of Lance Armstrong and his Live Strong campaign, well, he had a great tactical ride. So how does his ride yesterday affect the yellow and blue of Team Astana?
I don't think it'll ruffle too many feathers on the team. It will, however, show a clear message to his teammates. You have to protect me. I am here to race. I'm not here to soft pedal through the Tour de France. I am here to try to win this event. So I think it was a great move for him. In the media in general, they had a little bit of a fickle response to Lance's stage 1 time trial, but now we know that he is going to be a serious contender throughout these 3 weeks.
Lance and Alberto, they are both saying there is no rift at all, and as you well know, in a team time trial, there better not be any.
No, the team time trial, you have to have a cohesive unit, totally synchronized, moving perfectly down the road. Raw power is not what's rewarded. It's the way a team works together and is efficient, and that's what will win the day today for whoever wins the team time trial.
Let's go back 24 hours and look at the stage 3 highlights. Most of us thought it was just going to be status quo, figured the sprinters teams would move to the front and it would be a Cavendish win. Well, it was a Cavendish win, but it was a little bit different how we got there.
Yes, the script was totally thrown out the door when the Mistral wind started to blow across the Camargue, and Lance Armstrong recognizing, hey, this could get pretty dangerous if the road should happen to change direction.
Columbia HTC out in front. They were perfectly positioned as we've seen the past couple days, and there would be that turn in the road. Look at Cancellara in the yellow jersey. He had to go over the road furniture.
Cancellara recognizing that it's a critical moment in this stage. He had nowhere to go on the inside where all the riders were, so he took the most spontaneous route to get to the front, and that saved the yellow jersey for him on the day.
There's the break due to the Mistrals. Columbia HTC looking behind. They see they've got the gap. They just put their heads down in power and gobble up the 4 guys that had been out in front since the 1K mark.
There's the original breakaway just going over that bridge, and the main pack is way behind what will be the breakaway of the day, and those 4 men, almost instantaneously, their advantage wiped out.
This is how the echelon works. You try to angle yourself so that the men on the left break the wind for the guys on the right, and then you have to stack yourself, don't you, in the tiers as we see here.
This is what's called the echelon, and if you've ever seen the geese migrating north or south, you'll see the way they fly. It's more aerodynamically efficient, not to be directly behind, but to be just off the side. That throws the peloton into the gutter. And so if you're the skill rider, Koen de Korn, you got to get out of the way when Team Columbia puts the hammer down. But the echelon's a perfect part of cycling, and a very good display of that on yesterday's stage.
There would be 28 guys out in front, and with 10 kilometers to go, the gap was about 25 seconds. The one man not there, Alberto Contador.
Contador missing out, just a moment's inattention at the wrong time in the tour, and you're going to lose time. And that's what Contador, he learned. That's a very important lesson.
Eventually, Lance and Astana would put a couple men on the front. Jaroslav Popovic and Heimar Zubeldia, they would work to help increase the gap of the guys leading.
And Big George Hincapie realizing, hey, we got a good gap here. Only one other sprinter making the front group. If they take Cavendish to the line against one other guy, the chances are much better that they win the stage.
Tantalizingly close. They could see them up ahead, but at the end, the Renshaw delivery service was in full force.
Mark Renshaw leading it out. Torhushovd in white trying to come around the green jersey of Mark Cavendish, but there is no chance of that. Mark Cavendish, stage number 2 at this year's Tour de France. Hello, any other sprinters around? I'm going to beat you.
He makes a call with that new HTC phone of his. Well, the service is pretty good in these parts. He dials up the win. Congratulations from Lance Armstrong at the end. These two are becoming very good friends. We take a look at our Hampton Hotel's overall standings after stage number 3. It's still Cancellara in front, but a big shift. Lance Armstrong goes from 10th to 3rd.
From 10th up to 3rd, Contenders still in 4th place there. Bradley Wiggins rounding out the top 5.
These are some more of those names from Astana. Cloden in there. Levi Leipheimer still in the top 10. We look at some other overall contenders. American Christian Vandeveld in 22nd. And there's your defending champ in 26th, Carlos Sastre, now 1 minute and 47 seconds back, Bob. And that is a huge time gap to make up as we head into today's team time trial. This is a discipline where Cervello is not necessarily set to do well, are they?
Oh, that's a very harsh reality for the riders that didn't pay attention. They're already a minute and a half, 2 minutes behind, and that's terrible to give away to a man like Lance Armstrong after only 3 stages out on the open road. So that was a very tough day. Lance Armstrong realizing this is a moment to get some time. This is going to send a shockwave through all the teams. So he went ahead and made that maneuver, and that was a great move. Not a lot of time out on the road. However, a big gain because of that.
Time trialing a specific discipline, but team time trialing ever more so, exponentially so. There are 4 teams that we've been hinting at and talking about over the past few days that should do well in this team time trial. Here they are, and here's what they did in the Tour of Italy, the Giro, a month ago.
Giro d'Italia, one of the races a lot of riders used to get ready for the Tour de France. Astana was 3rd in that. Team Columbia won that. Garmin Slipstream came in, trained for it specifically, got 2nd. Team Saxo Bank, a little bit worrying, however. They lost almost a minute after 20 kilometers, and this is almost 40 kilometers. So if you extrapolate the Giro, you will get some huge time gaps. But some of the teams, very different composition, very different motivation also for the Tour. You're going to see a much closer race today.
Well, that's going to be good news for Astana. They have never put their full team out there. Columbia, Garmin, you can debate how close their squads will be to what we saw at the Tour of Italy. Well, there is a lot more to come in stage number 4. In terms of the jerseys, 3 of the 4 stay the same. Cancellara, Cavendish, and Vikinen, but now Tony Martin is the best young rider in white. When we come back, the Brits will join us on set.
The 2009 Tour de France pre-race on Versus is presented by Cadillac.
Choosing a car is like trying on a dress. As soon as you slip into it, you know it's the one. But you still turn around to see the back. Because let's face it, you want them to hate to see you go, but love to watch you leave.
Introducing the all-new Cadillac CTS Sport Wagon.
Before the start of the race, I can feel my heartbeat in my hands, in my throat, in my eyes, everywhere. Fear and the stress, it makes me better. What do I see at 230 miles an hour? It's tunnel vision, and you have one goal, the checker flag. Speed is about winning races, breaking records, and making history. Speed is my drug.
It looks as if a cyclone is brewing outside. Today, Montpellier is the center of the cycling universe. The storm on the horizon is in the form of our 9-man teams charging for the line. Welcome back to our Cadillac pre-race show. Time to welcome in our 2 titans of the team time trial, Phil Liggett and Paul Sherwen. Phil, Astana seems to be on most minds as the clear favorite today. How smart have they been over the past couple days allowing the other teams to do the lion's share of the work?
Well, to quote Mark Cavendish, the others rode like junior cyclists yesterday, and you get junior results. And of course, Mark Cavendish won the stage. I think that they rode with great intelligence. It was to be expected. Astana moved the men up about 10 kilometres before that race split, and Lance Armstrong was the only one on the team who was in the right place, apart from a couple of teammates to help him.
Paul, Astana on the tip of everyone's tongues, but there are a few teams that have pointed towards today, aren't there?
No, I think a lot of teams have actually taken big time out to come and look at this course on a number of occasions. Of course, you've got to think about Garmin Slipstream. They've been down. They came down the week leading up to the start of the Tour de France, and they've always said that it's really their forte. They believe that they're the best team in the world at the team time trial, but they better watch out for Team Saxo Bank, because they've got Spartacus. Of course, Fabian Cancellara will be trying to get himself in the yellow jersey right the way down to the Pyrenees. And don't discount Team High Road HTC, because I think the way they're riding at the moment, they could create a little bit of a surprise.
We're going to get to the picks in a little bit, but what do you think of all this drama leading into today's team time trial?
Well, I'm going to make a prediction about the team time trial. After Lance Armstrong and Alberto Contador have a 5-minute advantage over anybody else on GT, they're going to change the rules. I promise you that.
Bob, it may not look long to the casual observer today, but a team time trial is always an all-out effort. So take us through the map.
The map is about 40 kilometers of suffering for the riders today. We're down in Montpellier, still in the south of France, not too far from the Côte d'Azur, but a little bit inland, maybe a little bit less wind out on the race course, but it's a very technical, very difficult course. 4th stage, July 7th. We might get to that in a little bit later, how auspicious that date is. But for the riders, there is your race course. It's very tough. There are some climbs out there, very flat before the finish. Great racing stage today.
A real tough stage indeed. Montpellier to Montpellier, 24 miles in all. It's not very far. It could be crucial. 29 times the race has come here to Montpellier. The last winner was the South African rider Robbie Hunter, the first ever South African to win a stage of the Tour. And the last team time trial way back, 2005. Significant, that, won by Lance Armstrong's team.
Hey, Paul, you never stop working. That's why I think the fans like you so much. But you've come up with a theory, or you heard a theory as to how the Astana yellow jersey situation might unfold. Why don't you enlighten us?
Well, I have to say, I think it's all rumour and innuendo at the moment, but it could be quite interesting, because Lance Armstrong really, I think, wants to get the yellow jersey in the Tour de France here. And the rumour on the street is, in fact, Alberto Contador let the gap go yesterday to allow that break to go clear, forcing all the other teams to chase. They weren't able to pull it back. Lance Armstrong leapfrogged over Alberto Contador. So the idea is that Lance can get the yellow jersey and Alberto Contador can get it back when we go into the mountains.
Conspiracy theories abound, right, Phil?
Never heard so much rubbish in all my life.
Thank you.
Well, speaking of yellow jerseys, it's that time again here on our set. Time for our Cadillac performance predictions. But guess what? Let's look at those standings. A great day for Bob Roll and Team Red, White, and Blue. He now ties Paul Sherwen with his win with Mark Cavendish. I'm still sitting in third, and there's still a big egg by the maestro himself, Mr. Liggett. Phil, I think, though, today might be a different day. But before that, you and I get to sit back and watch these two here. Let me just throw it in the center, and you guys fight over who's going to take it.
No, we're going to share it. We're going to share it, because
equal on points,
showing great respect.
You might have noticed that the two ex-professional bike riders are at the top of the league. I'm not sure if you noticed that.
Phil, did you notice that?
Just
no.
luck.
No. I just think of you as Phil.
Neither of them got within
Paul
the
and
smell
Bob.
of that jersey in their real lives.
Well, today,
Oh,
Phil,
you got up to fifth. He was up to fifth overall on one occasion.
I was going to say, you cut to the quick right there, didn't you? You just meant to bring them down immediately.
What I do want to do is thank all the people who write to me on Twitter saying how unfair you three guys are treating me in this competition.
Today is his chance. All of you at home, all of you tweeting Phil Liggett, you pick first, so who's it going to be?
Pressure.
Well, it's a very... I would have picked Mark Cavendish, of course, normally, but it's all about the teams. Lance Armstrong said on Versus yesterday, I reckon we're going to win tomorrow. Who am I to argue with Lance Armstrong? I hope they do win, and I hope they win by enough time to put Lance in that yellow jersey, because as the best place rider on the team at the moment, he's the automatic next leader of the Tour, if they win with the time margin, of course. And that they used to be the experts in the team time trial. They won it last time out in 2005. With Lance on the team. This is an incredibly difficult team time trial, and that's why Lance's team will win.
Well, after your pick, I think it became incredibly difficult for the three of us to decide which of the remaining 3 teams, at least that most experts are picking, who to choose. I was happy I had second pick because I'm going with Garmin Slipstream. I feel that this rivalry between Garmin and Columbia is really sticking under the collar of this team. They feel that they lost out in the first salvo there in the Giro, but now it is time to fire back. So Garmin is going to do it today.
I don't think so. Sorry about that, Craig. Very good idea, but there's a team of warriors out there, and it's Team Columbia HTC, and I think those are the guys on a very technical course are going to go out and really fight for the victory in this. And they also have got their own little bit of rivalry between themselves and Garmin Slipstream. So I think those are the guys who today are going to come up with the goods, because each one of those guys knows how to accelerate and keep bringing it back up to speed. The thing about the time trial course today is it's not necessarily suited to men who are time trialists. It's suited to men who've got real courage.
Bob, you were left with the 4th pick, but there are 4 solid teams today. Who'd you go with?
I'm going to go with Team Saxo Bank. They have the yellow jersey. That always gives the team wings. Also, we've cloned Fabian Cancellara overnight. Frank Schleck is not allowed to take 1 meter in the wind. He can't pull. We've got 6 Cancellaras, and we're going to win by about 15 minutes. But in all seriousness, Saxo Bank, one of the most disciplined squads out there. They take a lot of pride in the team time trial. They know that it represents for the public, for the fans, the most obvious example of team unity in all of cycling. So watch for Team Saxo Bank to keep Cancellara near the yellow jersey. He might lose a few seconds, but they have an outside chance to do a good job and get me some more points.
Funny thing, Craig, all 4 of those teams that we've picked, the riders, the 4 of us sitting around here, those teams have all been down here on numerous occasions to look at the team time trial course, and they've taken it very, very seriously indeed.
Phil, in terms of the overall contenders, who has the most to lose today? Is it still Cadel Evans?
I think so. Cadel Evans made a stupid mistake yesterday, losing a few seconds. That was a day he should have finished same time as everybody else, because today in the team time trial, his team could lose 1, 2, even 3 minutes. And if he loses over 2 minutes, he's lost the tour.
One thing we do know for sure, the shakeups could be substantial a few hours from now. One of the other questions, will Montpellier mark the moment of this year's tour when Astana tightens their grip on yellow? Questions are about to be answered.
The 2009 Tour de France pre-race on Versus is presented by Cadillac.
Y'all loving your McCafe experience? Good, because here's something else to love. Free McCafe Mondays at McDonald's. Enjoy a sweet, scintillating sample of chocolate bliss that'll leave you shivering for more, and you thought we couldn't get any cooler. Or warm your soul with a chocolate and coffee combo that'll send you to mocha heaven. Only thing better is that it's free. They give me the light, so I give you McCafe.
The pitch from Hamels. He walks him.
Come on, Cole. Keep pounding the corner. Get him to chase one outside. Who are you?
Oh, Dad.
Oh, no.
Wearing the same cap the pros wear doesn't mean you're one. New Era. Make the majors or buy one at the store. Get your New Era cap at Lids.
The way I see it, all synthetic oils are the same.
Oh, think with your dipstick, Jimmy.
Aren't all synthetic oils the same?
Think with your dipstick, Jimmy.
Synthetics or synthetics?
Castrol Edge. I'm gonna try this.
Oh, no, that's thinking with your dipstick.
So why did you hit me?
Because you were thinking with your dipstick, Jimmy.
Think with your dipstick. Upgrade to new Castrol Edge. With 8 times better wear protection than Mobil 1 5W30. It's more than just oil. It's liquid engineering.
If you are a fan of courage, if you admire determination, if you are impressed by grace under pressure, and can't help but share in the joy of victory, then you are already a fan of Special Olympics. Make it official. Volunteer, coach, or compete. And be a fan of dignity, acceptance, and the human race.
Through the years, many things pass from father to son, like Aqua Velva Aftershave. Smells great, cools, firms, and tones. Cool. Aqua Velva, men get it.
Wake up your whiskers with Electric Shave.
Electric Shave!
Stands up whiskers for an up to 52% closer shave.
Man, that was close.
Electric Shave. Blade close. Electric smooth.
Hey, I'm Jake of Body by Jake and founder of Exercise TV.
It's time to make the commitment to lose weight and get fit. That's why I created Exercise TV, to give you access to the best workouts from the best fitness trainers. Exercise TV delivers hundreds of workouts every month, so you'll never get bored. If you have digital cable, it's free on demand. And now, Exercise TV takes fitness online with exercisetv.tv, where you can get free workouts, downloads, and exclusive exercise tips. Make the commitment. Your workout is waiting.
Today, the famed team time trial returns to the Tour de France after being absent from the race for years. Team Astana, stacked to the roof with some of the best time trialists ever to grace the pavement, packs a deadly punch with the likes of Lance Armstrong, Levi Leipheimer and Alberto Contador. But only time will tell if they can work together.
I've preferred to stay out of the drama and polemics of who's the leader of the team. I've won the Tour 7 times. I think I deserve a little bit of credit.
An internal power struggle may be their downfall, giving the American teams an advantage. After winning this event at the Giro d'Italia, Colombia, self-proclaimed as the #1 team in the world, are poised to back up their bold words. Another squad that could surprise the pack is Garmin's Slipstream. These feisty underdogs just might have a trick or two up their sleeves. Time is of the essence as the clock ticks down to the wire. The highly anticipated team time trial is seconds away, and it's next on Versus. And again, it's blue skies high above Montpellier in the beautiful Languedoc region. We're in the south of France. It's day 4. It's only 24 miles, but it's the team time trial day. This was earlier this morning. Saxo Bank going out to check out the course. They're nursing the race leader, Fabian Cancellara. One man tonight, though, could be Lance Armstrong in yellow. They're also out on course, checking out what is said to be a diabolical route for a team time trial. When they safely arrive at the finish, this is the last 50 metres before the clock will stop on the 5th member of the team to cross the line. It is going to be quite a day, everybody, and welcome back now. Our live coverage here on Versus. Phil Liggett, Paul Sherwen. I think it's an understatement to say we're excited. The team time trial back in the Tour since 2005, 4 years ago. The same year Lance Armstrong retired. He's back. Paul, explain the rules.
Well, the rules are quite simple. It's very much like the individual time trial, but the whole team goes out as a squad. The team races against the clock. All the teams start at 7-minute intervals, but the most important thing here is the riders use a lot of drafting tactics to help each other push the pace up to almost 40 miles an hour. But the most important thing maybe is the time is taken on the 5th rider to cross the finishing line. And of course, let's not forget, although this is a team event this afternoon, the riders' times are added to their individual standing. So that's going to make this event today extremely important.
Absolutely, and that's why during the last 3 years of his career, Lance Armstrong became the king with his team of team time trialing, didn't he?
No, Phil, he certainly did. But even going back to the 1990s when he rode for Motorola, he wanted to win the team time trial, such as a measure of the strength of a team. Finally, in 2003, when they came out as Team Discovery at the US Postal Service, they went out on the Stage 4 time trial and got themselves the victory, and that was something that they really wanted to do. Armstrong really enjoyed that. They took it a little bit further in 2004 when they dominated once again in the team time trial. 4th stage again. It really is like repeating history for these guys.
And then when Discovery Channel came on stream in the year 2005, this was when Lance Armstrong and the boys really did gobble up the course. They set the fastest time ever recorded in a stage of the Tour de France at almost 58 kilometres an hour. Armstrong at the front here, driving his team towards the line. They would soon become the leaders of the Tour de France, as we well know. Well, the big teams go out and the big teams go out virtually together here. They're split by those 7 minutes, but look at the start times. Garmin Slipstream 10:22 Eastern Time, Saxo Bank 7 minutes later, Columbia 7 minutes after that, and finally Armstrong's team goes out last at 10:43 Eastern Time. Yes, well, the race started earlier, about 25 minutes ago. This is now a chance for us to look back on our Nature Valley reset here, and I can tell you, spectacular beginnings already. The first team to leave the start house was Case de Palm, with Oscar Pereiro, a former winner back in '06, on the squad. Amazingly, they are the last team overall in the classification of the teams, and we go in reverse order to the leading team. There's the departure of Katusha, all 9 riders resplendent as they leave the start house in the Place de la Comédie here in Montpellier.
But then once Rabobank came out of the starting gate, Phil, a little bit of drama for them. They rolled off the starting ramp quite comfortably, but at the end of the first straight, there was a little precarious turn, and all of a sudden, watch the rider in second position. That is Denny Menchoff going down there, very hard indeed, because of the fact he couldn't handle his aerodynamic bike around that corner.
Well, that's amazing. Menchoff did the same in the time trial, the individual time trial, approaching the finish in the Tour of Italy, which he won. Denny Menchoff getting a push off there from right beneath the feet of some Australian spectators. Lamprey tried to do the same, but we'll show you that in a moment. This is their start. They are the last team so far to have gone out of the start house, and they quickly into the rhythm. But then they too, Paul, were heading for that same corner, and those Australians got another spectator down. This time, Alessandro Ballan was on the floor. This is going to cause a lot of interest when the big teams try to get round this bend, isn't it?
Well, the one thing you can be absolutely certain is that everybody's going to be watching.
Well, that's our Nature Valley stage reset. Now we'll go to live action. We're picking up here with Katusha. And so far, at the 10-kilometre check in the little village of Grabbles, Case de Palm had gone through in 12:35. The only other team to reach there is Team Katusha at 12:44, a little bit off the pace by about 9 seconds. This is B-Box on the start line.
B-Box, Bouygues Telecom, they're one of the French teams, and they're not really expected to feature too highly up in the team time trial. I have to say, the teams who've really taken this event very seriously are the last 4 teams to start, actually. Team Astana, who start right at the top end of the afternoon, behind Team Columbia, Team Saxo Bank and Garmin Slipstream, the big names who we expect probably to fill the first 4 places. But the question mark is, which way around are they going to fill the first 4 places? Because at the end of today's stage, I have to say there is a yellow jersey at stake.
Absolutely right. We've spoken to so many people today, usually riders of stars who are of the Tour over previous years. They've all been out on their bikes, believe it or not. They've all come in shaking their heads saying this is the most difficult course we have ever seen in team time trials. The roads are so narrow in places in the crosswinds. The team is expected to have to ride in 2 groups of 4 because they can't get all 9 men across the road. So somebody's going to be the odd man out as well. Also, we start into a headwind today, and then we've got a series of 5 climbs, and one is 3 kilometers long, and then we've got a series of descents on very narrow roads. So we are going to be treated to some spectacular racing, and it looks as though we've already got a problem here with Katusha, because this is Napolitano, the sprinter who was involved in that shunt 3 days ago and didn't get up to the finish line. We saw him walking home. The team said goodbye to him already.
And that's not a very good thing to do, because you can easily get eliminated in the team time trial. You get an idea to see just how bad the road surface is out on this course. Everybody's saying that not only, Phil, is this probably one of the most difficult courses, but it's also one of the most technical courses as well. You've got to be very careful and try and keep as many riders together as possible to take advantage of everybody's strength. And Napolitano there, Phil, I think getting dropped so early on is going to be wondering whether or not he's going to find himself eliminated at the end of the day.
Well, Rabobank have gone through, not surprising, with their fall, the slowest time of the 3 riders there, 53 seconds slower than Case de Palm. There's the weather for you. It's the same every day in this part of the world, 82 degrees, slight winds at 8 miles an hour. We're off and running in the team time trials. See you in a moment.
Kelly Saunders' Nature Valley. The place that inspires her to go faster and slower. Elk Mountains, Colorado. Where's yours? 100% natural Nature Valley granola bars. The taste nature intended.
Buckle up, everybody, because we're taking a ride that can strain your relationships and hurt your pride. It's the credit roller coaster, and as you can see, it kind of bites. So sing the lyrics with me. When your deck goes up, your score goes down. When you pay a little off, it goes the other way round. It's just the same for everybody, every boy and girl. The credit roller coaster makes you want to hurl. So throw your hands in the air and wave them around like a wannabe frat boy trying to get down. And bring them right back to where your laptop's at. Log on to freecreditreport.com. Free credit score and report with enrollment and triple advantage.
Every question on there, you know, is very descriptive of yourself and what you're looking for.
eHarmony asked me things about myself that needed to be asked.
So I like the system. I like that it does the work for you. It really does.
You just got to take your time. You have to fill it out honestly.
I finished my questionnaire for eHarmony on September 6th, and I was matched up with Lee on October 2nd.
It all starts with the eHarmony questionnaire. Log on today and review your matches for free.
This July, the dark side of Comic-Con, only on FearNet.com.
There's nothing that excites me more.
Only on FearNet.com.
Welcome back, team. Time trial day today, but don't forget Sunday, July 26th, the IndyCar Series on Versus will storm into Canada for the Indy Grand Prix of Edmonton. Midway through the season now, young gun Ryan Briscoe and Dario Franchitti are locked in a very tight points race. But to capture the crown, they've got to fend off defending champ Scott Dixon and, of course, the world's best drivers. That's the Indy Grand Prix of Edmonton, live Sunday, July 26th at 5 Eastern, here on Versus. So as we look at these beautiful pictures, which now come to you in high definition for the very first time on Versus from the Tour de France, and don't forget to check your local listings. And looking at the narrow roads now, and boy, are these narrow roads. I don't ever recall roads being so narrow for a team time trial. Case Dupont, 3 teams through the first check, are still the best time there. Well, this is one of the tricky descents here as they Team Katusha press on towards the check in Merviel. And the clock counting down there. They've just gone through the time check, 11 seconds slower than Case Dupont. So in fact they've dropped 2 seconds since the previous time check on the Spanish team.
I think the big losers so far, though, Phil, really has to be Team Rabobank, because they were almost a minute down at the first time check because of that accident they had. This is the Team AG2R La Mondiale. They changed their colours just before the start of the Tour de France this year, and their team manager is Vincent Lavenue.
It is so difficult to guide 9 riders, and Martin Ducrot, who is a former, quite a famous cyclist in the past, he works on Dutch television now, he's with us here. He was a former world champion of the team time trial, and Martin said this is not a team time trial, this is a team trial for 9 individual riders, because they can't settle down on this course as a team, and the one that cracks it best will do the best time.
And probably the team that's able to keep the rhythm lifting all the time, because this is going to be not a high-speed team time trial. This will be a team time trial where it's important to be able to lift the pace up, drop it back down again, accelerate out of the corners into the descent. It's a very carefully judged test, I think, of all of the strengths of a team.
Well, I can tell you, Lamprey have already lost over a minute to Case Dupont at the first check, which comes at only 10 kilometres into the course. So you see there is big times to be lost and gained today, and that's why those last 4 teams to go are going to be neck and neck. Just look at these riders here as they continue to crash up over this little climb. Let me remind you too, don't forget to log on to versus.com/ride of your life. Do it every day during the tour for your chance to win a trip for two to the 2010 Tour de France. There's other great prizes as well. You will need the special code words today. Team Time Trial is what you will need to get online. Enjoy that competition. Well, Rabobank trying to recover now from that rather unfortunate start. It's something you've just got to put out of your mind and concentrate and try and get over it. As we've lost Denny Menchov in that crash because he's the team leader. The team waited for him, of course. Had that rider been what we call a domestique, a helper, they would have left him lying in the road and continued to push on for sure. But they're losing big time. Over a minute lost by Rabobank already to Case de Palm, the first team to go. We'll take a break. There's a lot of big names to come and a lot of sensational things as well, I suspect.
Is this your house?
Now it's your house, too. Why don't you do something nice for Mommy? Show her how much you love her.
That's a wonderful idea.
I think there could be something wrong with Esther.
In every family, there are secrets we hide and truths we can't escape.
I want her out of this house. I'm going to do whatever it takes to protect my children.
What did you do?
Orphan, rated R, starts July 24th.
I race to win. I know when it's the perfect time to change my tires. When it comes to shaving, I know when to change my blade.
Gillette Fusion's indicator strip fades to white when it may be time to change.
Fresh blade, better shave.
Right now, all over the country, Discover Card customers are getting 5% cashback bonus at the pump. Now more than ever, it pays to discover.
The Elitch Gardens Summer Concert Series takes the stage Saturday nights beginning May 9th through August 1st. Your season pass to Elitch Gardens is now your concert pass, as all 14 concerts are free with your park admission. With everything from pop to country, there's a variety of live music for everybody in our awesome outdoor venue.
See Los Horoscopos on July 11th and Patrulla on July 12th, starting at 7 p.m. at the Elitch Arena.
Don't miss out on any of our 14 concerts. Buy your season pass today.
Yeah, I believe in ghosts.
I think I've seen some really weird things.
I don't know if I believe in ghosts.
I believe in the paranormal.
I need to know that there is not any possibility, not any other possibility before I'm like, you know what, that's a ghost.
Is anybody here?
Make this a value-packed Waterworld summer. Parking's free, picnics are welcome, and the amazing Big Top Family Fun Zone is waiting. Get info at waterworldcolorado.com.
Growing up in a family with my dad winning the Indy 500, you take some heat. There's really no sport like it. We're inches apart, wheel to wheel, and one touch, and you're gone. It's a crazy lifestyle. That's how it goes.
Welcome back. The big circuit of Montpellier today. The first few teams are out in the hills now as they continue on the team time trial. But there's Rabobank flashing through our screens. I can tell you that Team Katusha have lost 2 riders now. This is the second check on the road. Rabobank conceded over a minute at the first check to the leading team there, and they're still not recovering well from this. 26:09 was the time of Case de Palm, and they've gone through. They're still counting here, so they're losing over a minute at this time check, Rabobank, and that is a big loss for Denny Menchov to riders like Oscar Pereira on the team of Case de Palm. It's going to be a very strange day. One has got the feeling now. Stein Vandenberg has just been dropped off the back of Team Katusha. which leaves 2 men now and only 7 in the line up front. Crowds enjoying a hot and sultry day here through the vineyards of the Languedoc area of France. And you can see by these boys are really going well, but they're not changing partners that much at the front. There's the gap. It's they're getting themselves back into the stride. They're not a minute down now. They've pulled back 10 seconds on that stretch. So they've settled down now after the accident to Denny Menchoff, which is good to see. Looking down at Team Kasusha at the moment, I think, down there. Anyway, just before the start and early this morning, quite a lot of journalists and television interviewers were chatting with Levi Leipheimer, so we put a camera in there, and here's what he had to say.
Yes, it's a very, very important stage for Astana today.
Yes, of course it is. There will be time differences made, so we have to do our best, and yeah, I think we have a chance to win, and that would be really nice.
And to get the yellow jersey today for Lens?
I think that's going to be difficult because it's 40 seconds to Cancellara, and it's not a long course, you know, 39 kilometers. So I don't count on that.
Levi, after yesterday's split, and you were obviously in the group left behind, was there any discussion about Astana working to chase that down?
No, not at all.
It was never an option.
Lance was the only GC rider there, so it was a great situation for us. We didn't have to work behind, and a lot of other teams had to work very hard. Teams that are favorites for today, like Columbia in the front and behind Saxo and Garmin. So they had to do a lot more work than us. It was a perfect situation.
Was the internal dynamic of the team tilted a little bit after yesterday? With Lance closing the, going past Alberto?
The internal dynamic has stayed the same from the beginning of the year. We have 2 riders who've won the Tour before and 2 riders who are capable of winning again.
Who's more capable?
I think it's a little early to tell. You know, it's too early in the race to tell, so that's why we have to keep our options open, and as the race unfolds, we will be able to see, as you all will.
Thanks, Levi.
Oh, very diplomatic, Levi. Well done. A pat on the back for him there, because he was giving nothing away, but we'll keep an eye on the Astana team, of course. There's the corner. We're going to call that Australia's Bend, I think, and they're safely around this team, Skill Shimano.
There's a big problem here, Phil, and this is a back flat tyre, I think, and this is very difficult to change, and I wonder if they'll go for the bike. They will normally have discussed this beforehand, and yeah, that's the quickest thing to do with these machines, is just to get the mechanic to come along with a brand new bike. He's got the bike there. What he's forgotten to do, though, is take his bottle.
He went back to get it, and the mechanic has already taken his bike and put it on the car. Well, he's going to get back in the team. I presume will are slow for Laurent Lefebvre. He's a very strong bike rider, and it might be necessary to keep him up with the team. There's Skill Shimano. They've taken their start now.
Well, the next team that will come into the starting house after Skill Shimano is going to be the Française des Jeux, and I think it was very sensible of Bouygues Telecom there, Phil, to wait for their man Laurent Lefebvre, because it is extremely important to keep as many riders together as possible in this tactical and technical team time trial this afternoon.
It won't be too long now before we see the arrival of Case de Pont. We're looking here at the Saint-Clément Aqueduct, by the way, which has a total length of 17.5 kilometers. It carries water from Montpellier to Saint-Clément.
Yes.
So these riders now are going to have to... somebody complaining about his earpiece as well, I think. Can't hear what's going on now. That was, in fact, William Bonnet from the Bouygues Telecom team. These boys anxious to get together, and they're waiting, in fact, for Lefebvre to catch up before they get on with the race. Oh, the up and downs of a pro bike rider. What a great day in prospect. See you all in a moment.
Get my seminar on Monday.
Actually, I'm out for Shinwhack.
Shinwhack?
It harkens to the days when men would compete for the hand of a young maiden by whacking each other in the shins. In one legendary battle, the whacking lasted for 3 long days.
So how do you celebrate?
Party in Vegas.
Maxidon works exactly as they said it would.
You literally start feeling it in under 60 seconds.
She actually bought it for me. Now I'm a big believer.
It's never been better.
Male enhancement.
doesn't always mean there's a problem. Maxiderm is for any man or couple that's looking for more. Customers report that it starts working in under 60 seconds, so you can see more, feel more, and enjoy more.
Call the number on the bottom of your screen right now to try Maxiderm absolutely risk-free. Plus, for a limited time, receive a free pack of Vasamine for sustained performance.
What a big difference. Big. Not everybody needs a prescription. That's why we created Maxiderm, the instant male enhancement formula that can make a big difference today.
Call the number on the bottom of your screen right now to try Maxiderm absolutely risk-free. Plus, for a limited time, receive a free pack of Vasamine for sustained performance. Call in the next 15 minutes for free upgraded rush delivery.
Before I start off the race, I can feel my heartbeat in my hands, in my throat, in my eyes, everywhere. Fear and the stress, it makes me better. What do I see at 230 miles an hour? It's tunnel vision, and you have one goal, the checker flag. Speed is about winning races, breaking records, and making history. Speed is my drug.
The inherent value of a Range Rover Sport easily handles the ups and downs of sand, mud, and the economy. Range Rover Sport, the luxury that's more than a luxury.
Hamels looks toward home. The pitch. He walks him.
Come on, Cole. Keep pounding the corner. Give him a chase one outside.
Who are you?
Oh, Dad.
Oh, no. Wearing the same cap the pros wear doesn't mean you're one. New era. Make the majors or buy one at the store.
I gotta get my car insured. Just point and click, point and click, point and click, point and click.
When you need auto insurance right now, log on to thegeneral.com. You'll get an instant quote with no personal information required and a down payment as low as $59. You can also print your own proof of insurance form, all online in just a few minutes.
Piece of cake.
Best car insurance rates in town. Call 1-800-GENERAL now.
These are the positions of the 7 Americans in this year's Tour de France. Armstrong moved up to 3rd yesterday. Leipheimer is in 10th. George Hincapie 13th. Dave Zabriskie 17th. These are all members of the strong teams in the team time trial. Well, at the start this morning again, a big crowded press conference to speak to Lance Armstrong, and we were amongst the visitors there. Let's hear what he had to say.
To get the yellow jersey today? Well, it's anything's possible, but I think my prediction is that Saxo Bank will be strong, and they'll ride strong. They'll ride smart. So if I was a betting man, I would bet that Cancellara keeps the jersey tonight. That was easy.
I've got a question. You're 3rd in GC now. Alberto's 4th. Has that changed anything in the dynamics of your team?
You know, in my view, there was always multiple leaders of the team. So I think there's a lot of controversy and drama that's derived from that idea, but that's just the reality. You have a guy who's riding very good in the last 18 months. You have a guy who's won the Tour 7 times. You have a guy in Levi that's ridden great all year. You have a guy in Cloden who's ridden good tours in the past. So it's it's not the simplest arrangement, but it's reality. So we you know, and seeing the reports from yesterday, it's amazing the drama that's created because of a bit of smart riding. So I try to avoid it.
But how long can that carry on before a leader has to emerge, Lance?
Well, we'll know in the mountains.
Till when?
Yeah, I mean, I think there you'll see the race develop in its true form. I mean, right now you have a selection, a breakaway in the wind, and that's not That's not necessarily how you win the Tour, but in the mountains and in the TTs, we know.
Yesterday must have been a massive psychological boost for yourself.
Well, I mean, I think more for, I think the combination of yesterday and what we could do today, I think is a boost over guys like Sastre and Evans who might lose a bit of time today. So.
How about yellow? How would that be? Yellow today?
It would be cool. I don't think it's realistic, but it would be very cool.
Certainly Woodlands, giving nothing away here. Perhaps there isn't any animosity within that team. They're just riding their Tour de France as a team. We'll find out soon when they take the start. They're last to go of the 20 teams. And there's been a massive crash here. And this is Bouygues Telecom. Goodness knows how they managed to put riders in the field. Here we go. Let's have a look at this. Taking the corner wide. The total is the leaders who go off and the others lose the line. Well, I have to say, Paul, that was amazing. It was the leaders who fell, and the back of the team just took to dive wherever they could.
Well, it just goes back to a discussion I had with Lance Armstrong, Phil, before the start of the Tour de France, and he said to me that on this time trial course around here, there's going to be absolute carnage. Well, that was a prediction that's starting to come true.
It certainly was, as the riders are going to have a long time to get this one together. This is William Bonney here, who's a bit of a sprinter for B-Box. I don't know who the rider was at the front as they took them into the corner, but he realised he was on the wrong line. The boys behind were also following his wheel, and they realised they were now all going at the wrong line for the bend. Fortunately, it was a grass area there, but it could have so easily been a bunch of trees or something, which would have
could have been a wall.
Serious.
It could have been anything.
A wall, absolutely.
Fortunately, I think what will happen now, these guys will they'll slow down for a fraction. The team manager, if he's got himself up there, will ask them to slow down, get themselves organised once again. But just have a look. It's the first rider around the corner there, Phil, who was going much too fast for the corner. And on these bikes, as I've said so many times, these machines are not very manoeuvrable. They're built for pure speed, not for manoeuvrability and going around corners fast.
Well, about 4 of the team have gone down there, and the first rider is up. But this is incredible. Who's seen a team time trial like this?
Well, hats off to the man on the left there, because he kept it upright.
Well, this is absolutely amazing. Now we're looking here as the riders get themselves organised again. That's Roland. Looking for a new bike. I hope they've got enough bikes there. These boys have got the weight, and they're coming together. There they are. B-Box getting it back together. Don't forget, you've got to have 5 of them to get that time at the line. And still, Case de Palm, the only team to have finished today. We'll see you in a moment.
Wow, sweet minivan.
That's minivan A to you.
It's raining! With the great taste of a McDonald's McCafe Mocha, a better day is possible. Freshly ground espresso, real steamed milk, and decadent chocolate. Go ahead, McCafe your day.
We weren't just looking for someone to date. We were looking for someone to spend the rest of our life with.
It's one of the most important decisions in your life. And you don't just want to leave it to chance.
If you're ready to meet the love of your life, try eHarmony. At eHarmony, we thoroughly pre-screen your matches for you based on 29 dimensions of deep, meaningful compatibility, like intellect, values, and character.
We had so much in common. It was natural.
Experience the eHarmony difference for yourself. Review all your matches for free at eHarmony.com.
At TireRack.com, we stock the largest selection of tires anywhere, all at great low prices. But we don't just ship them off to your house after you buy them. We can deliver them to one of over 5,000 of our independent recommended local installers. Because the best tires in the world can't help you if they're not properly installed on your vehicle. A national network of over 5,000 recommended installers. One more way, Tire Rack is revolutionizing the way you buy tires. TireRack.com. Research, buy, deliver, install.
May I help you?
Yeah, I'm looking for car insurance that isn't going to break the bank.
You're in the right place. Only Progressive gives you the option to name your price. Here.
A price gun?
Mm-hmm.
So I tell you what I want to pay.
And we build you a policy to fit your budget.
That's cool.
Feel so empowered.
Power to the people.
The option to name your price. New and only from Progressive. Call or click today.
What's up, Kat? I'm reading an article about that new show, It's On, with Alexa Chung.
What? Alexa's live show will allow her to say and do whatever she wants.
True that.
Then why are you wasting your time?
Because that jacket she's wearing is fierce.
I saw it first.
It's On with Alexa Chung, weekdays at noon.
For adventurous birthday parties and group outings, check out the amazing mini golf, go-karts, and dueling dragsters at Adventure Golf and Raceway. Call or click now for low group rates.
Growing up in a family with my dad winning the Indy 500, you take some heat. There's really no sport like it. We're inches apart, wheel to wheel, and one touch, and you're gone. It's a crazy lifestyle. That's how it goes. It's gotta be a new race!
Welcome back. Well, Bicycle Magazine stages you can't miss. Here's one, the longest mountain stage in the 2009 Tour. The stage to Arcalis features only 2 climbs, but the finish is very difficult. This climb plays to the strengths of riders like Cadel Evans or Armstrong, and don't count out anyone like Alberto Contador. They all have the ability to take the lead here. Visit bicycling.com for exclusive daily Tour commentary and analysis from cycling's biggest names. As we look down here, we're looking at Team Rabobank. They've got themselves back together. They've only got 8 men down there. There's a quick head count. So they too are in more trouble. This is unfortunate. This is B-Box, who just literally came together after that mass pile-up, and they've got problems again. Paul, I've never heard of a team time trial like this. Pierre Roland has had a problem. He's crashed as well, and now he looks like he's had another problem.
Yeah, this is, as it was predicted, going to be absolute carnage on the road of the team time trial here this afternoon. This team are losing huge chunks of time, which is why I think the big teams, Phil, have taken a lot of time and serious energy and money to get themselves here to look at this course on a number of occasions, because it is very tricky indeed, and some of the teams who maybe have not invested quite as much time at looking at the course have come unstuck.
Well, this is a big moment for Cadel Evans because he missed out on the break. There he is there. He missed out on the move yesterday, as Cadel just looking at his team, wishing them well. Say, look after me, boys, get me round this course as best you can, and don't lose me too much time. It's all in the hands of his teammates now to keep Cadel in the hunt. He's finished second in the Tour de France the past 2 years. Very important team time trial today, because if anybody's going to miss out, I hate to say it, it will be Silence Lotto.
Yeah, over the past, they've never been one of the great team time trial squads, Phil, of the professional peloton, although in recent times they have spent a lot of time to try and improve their ability, and it's going to be extremely important for Cadel Evans on this race this afternoon to try and rally the team around. Even though he's going to be extremely strong, he's got to try and get the most out of every individual rider in his team to make sure that they don't lose too much time.
School Shimano, we haven't seen too much of them, but they're holding the 6th place finish of 7 teams at the moment at the first check, as we look here at Rabobank, heading 3 kilometers to go. So let's have a look then at some notable start times here. Still to come, of course, Cervelo go at 9:47. These are Eastern times. Garmin, Saxo, Columbia and Astana all follow each other onto the start ramp from 10:22 to 10:43. So much action to come. There's the ups and downs of Denny Menchov on the Australian corner. These are the ups and downs of the whole team of B-Box Telecom. We'll see in a moment.
Whether you're powering down the asphalt in a Cervelo S2 or a Cadillac CTS Sport Wagon, you're sure to get that rush. Now imagine the rush you could feel at the final stage of the Tour de France with the Cadillac Ride of Your Life sweepstakes. Just watch the Tour de France on Versus and look for the on-screen code. Then log on to versus.com/rideofyourlife to enter. You could win a Cervelo S2 and a VIP trip to Paris to watch the 2010 Tour. The Cadillac Ride of Your Life sweepstakes, and watch the Tour de France right here on Versus.
Geico's been saving people money on car insurance for over 70 years. And who doesn't want value for their dollar? Been true since the day I made my first dollar. Where is that dollar? I got it out to show you.
Was it rather old and wrinkly?
Yeah, you saw it?
Fancy a crisp?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Well, I was shopping for a new car. Which one's me? A cool convertible or an SUV? Too bad I didn't know my credit was whack, cause now I'm driving off the lot in a used subcompact. F-R-E-E, that spells free. Creditreport.com, baby. Saw their ads on my TV. Thought about going but was too lazy. Now instead of looking fly and rolling fat, my legs are sticking to the vinyl and my posse's getting laughed at. F-R-E-E, that spells free. Creditreport.com, baby.
Offer applies with enrollment and triple advantage.
Hi, there aren't any towels in my room.
Continue.
Friendly service. Real value from your friends at Hampton.
Nanomolecular what? A force field that prevents sludge.
Tired of the claims? Get a guarantee. Only Valvoline guarantees your engine up to 300,000 miles. Get Valvoline. Get guaranteed.
Get 20% more cash for your broken, unwanted, or mismatched gold jewelry. Cash for Gold, the largest volume consumer gold buyer in the USA, is on an extended buying spree. Prices are still at all-time highs, and we still can't keep up with demand. So we've raised our goal $100 million and extended our deadline. Now we're out to buy $200 million in gold by the end of summer, September 30th. Send us any unwanted, broken, or mismatched gold jewelry right now. Call for a free prepaid envelope. Fill it with the items you want to sell, send it to our secure processing center, and get ready to count your cash. And to meet our new $200 million goal, we've increased our cash payout by 20%. Cash for Gold owns its own refinery. There's no middleman, just more cash for you. And now we're paying even 20% more cash. Call before the gold rush ends September 30th.
Call 1-800-953-7993 or visit cash4gold.com.
Watching Silence Lotto here get the start now. This is Cadell Evans' squad, and he really has already spoken to the team. He's got to pull out a good ride today. It's a huge challenge. Now, that 11th overall, by the way, is the team standings because of the team time trial, but the time goes to the individuals. Now, they calculate the team standings, by the way, by adding together the 3 best times every day of 3 members of the team, and they go as like that to the overall classification. But this today is about individual times. At the moment, a narrow start, and it's also a headwind. Well, we've got this nice little narrow start here, Paul, and then we're up and running. But they soon get out of Montpellier. Now, Cadell Evans knows this is a very important part of the Tour de France for him today.
It certainly is, and as a strong rider, he's got to put a lot of long turns into to try and keep the pace as high as possible. But what he can't do on the small climbs is go too hard and assassinate his own team. He's got to make sure that he rides at a pace which is comfortable for them, and they're all safely around this corner, where we've seen already a number of riders come unstuck in the early starters.
The thing is that these riders will know about that corner as well now, because they know that first teams to start have come to grief, so they might just backpedal that little bit to make sure they get around that corner. Well, I think that Cadell Evans today will be very happy if he doesn't concede a minute, and that will be a good result, I think, for him.
I think he would bank that right now if he could, Phil, because on a course like this, with the technical nature of the way we've seen a lot of the teams handling this, I can see a lot of teams losing themselves at 2, 3 or even 4 minutes on a course like this. And if you're looking to win the Tour de France overall, 4 minutes is a lot of time.
It most certainly is, when you think that Cadell Evans has lost the Tour by less than 30 seconds and less than 1 minute in the past. Still the best time done by Katusha of Russia. They're in with a 47.52, which I think is a very, very good time. I would have thought the winning time would have been around 47 minutes today. They might even squeeze out a 46 for the creme de la creme, the last 4 teams to go, because they are the aces at the team time. So I think we're right in building them up, and we'll see if Lance can open up enough time to pull on a yellow jersey of Fabian Cancellara. That will be a tough call for sure. Settling down. Look at the wind blowing there as it's whipping in all directions here. Don't forget, continue to play by logging on to versus.com/ride of your life. Every day you must play this game during the tour. A chance to win trip for two to the 2010 event, a Cervelo S2 bicycle. You can also win a yellow jersey or a polka dot jersey like we use in the Cadillac Performance Predictions. There's the code words today, Team Time Trial. You need those to log on. So Silence Lotto are underway. Not far behind them will come Tom Bonan's Quick Step squad. We're moving closer to the big hitters. See you in a moment again.
And in time trial, it's just you and your bike on the road. You must forget about the love for yourself. You must be the masochist. Come on, more pain, more pain.
Go, 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 go.
When you like the suffering, when you like the pain in your legs and all your body, it means you're good.
Kelly Saunders Nature Valley. The place that inspires her to go faster and slower. Elk Mountains, Colorado. Where's yours? 100% natural Nature Valley granola bars. The taste nature intended.
There is a shop like no other shop in the world. There's a truck that needs diagnostic work. The Apache that came in last night needs a systems upgrade. And the armored security vehicle out back needs a looking over. And you'll ask yourself, am I up to this? Can I do this?
Hey, Sergeant. Let's go put that Talon back together.
And you'll answer.
Yes, sir.
There's Strong, and then there's Army Strong. To see strength like no other, go to GoArmy.com.
Through the years, many things pass from father to son, like Aqua Velva Aftershave. Smells great, cools, firms, and tones. Cool. Aqua Velva, men get it.
Wake up your whiskers with Electric Shave. Electric Shave! Stands up whiskers for an up to 52% closer shave.
Man, that was close.
Electric Shave. Blade close, electric smooth.
There's more excitement coming to Blackhawk. Are you ready for Blackhawk's 24-hour fun? Blackhawk, bet up to $100. Are you ready for the thrill of craps and roulette? Same Blackhawk, more ways to win. Now playing.
Welcome back. It's the Team Time Trial. We're looking at Quick Step now on the far end of the line there. In the black jersey is the champion of Belgium, Tom Bonen. They are 10th overall in the team race after our 3 days of racing so far. Important moments. They're here to win stages, really. They don't have a rider on the list, really, who's going to win the Tour de France, so they rely heavily on Tom Bonen, their sprinter. He's second left as we look at the riders here. And they're now on the countdown to make their start. And the speaker there shouting for applause from the crowd as they roll away from the Place de la Comédie here in Montpellier. As I say, it's a very difficult start. They've got a headwind, and as they leave town, they start the succession of hills. They're chasing, in fact, Silence Lotto, who started 7 minutes before them, as we saw, Cadell Evans' team. Yes, and in fact, here we are with them now, further down the road, as they're now getting themselves into quite a nice tight formation. There's Cadell Evans. He wears number 11. The riders with the ones on the numbers are the leaders of the team. And there's a width through the side streets here. Once we clear the suburbs of Montpellier... Oh, and what on earth happened there? That was a touch on... Well, how did he... That's Jurgen van den Broek. How on earth did he get away from that and the guy behind not run over him? Well, we might get another look at that. Let's now watch the second boy from the back here, because that is Jurgen van den Broek. He seems to touch the wheel, and he was only 2 riders away from Cadel Evans himself. He looks straight into the eyes and quickly rolls away from the rider who is last while his bike spins. Well, that is amazing. Now, that's the sort of crash you can't blame on the nature of the course here. That was just a riding mistake by van den Broek. They've got to wait for him. He's a very strong man in the time trial. But, you know, now they're going to wait for him. That surely is going to cost. We had Denny Menchoff, the leader of Rabobank, do a similar thing earlier. Now we've had Cadel Evans see his teammate go. This is a mid-check here, second one through at 19.5 kilometres. Skill Shimano challenging the time of Case Depart. My goodness me, no. They're down to 7, 29.13. It's just the way it came at us there on the screen. 29.13 for Skill Shimano. Still a pretty good time there. Just looking here now, they seem to be getting themselves back together again. So if you catch sight of number 17, he must have come back up pretty quickly. But see, they don't wear frame numbers in the team time trial. Just the requirements is to wear 1 body number. But it looks as though they're slipping back into their rhythm. So I would think that he has rejoined the group, or they've taken the decision to continue without him. He's certainly not in our picture at the moment. Remember, you're only as good as your 5th man. There's only 8 men down there. Well, Frankie Angelo is our technical expert here on Versus, and now he's going to introduce us to Fabian Cancellara's time trial machine.
Every year, Specialized continues to innovate and introduce new products to the pro peloton. This is their new time trial bike, the Shiv. Brand new, introduced in Romandy, and recently ridden to stage 1 time trial win and the yellow jersey with Fabian Cancellara. And Fabian, with your size and your strength, how's this bike handling your power?
I would say, for me, it's handling perfect. I mean, when I look at the old one, when we've been riding at the beginning of the year and now we're changing, I would say that it's an awesome bike. That's what I need for my power, my strength, and my size. I have all what I need to put the power with the bike on the road.
It's as stiff as the SL2 road bike. It's thinner and lighter than the old Transition. Now, the big difference with this bike is that it's more aerodynamic from the front, but also from the side wind angles. And Fabian, with the new nose cone that holds the handlebars, is the stem, and has the brake on there, very flat over the top tube. Are you still able to get a comfortable position where you can maintain a high speed and produce that power needed?
Yeah, on the end, I have to say that I have all on this bike what I need, especially in the corners. And I go quite quick and fast and into these corners. I feel very comfortable in the corners, and my aerodynamic position is the same as like before. And on the end, I'm so happy to have a bike now like this to get everything out.
Well, with one of the most advanced time trial bikes on the road, Fabian Cancellara and the yellow jersey with the new Specialized Shiv will be looking to take a stab at the competitors today in the team time trial.
Thanks, Frankie, and thanks, Fabian. Well, we're going to see him in action very shortly now as we continue down the list. The next team we should see starting will be Carlos Sastra's Cervelo test team. As we look here at Cadel Evans wearing number 11, they took the decision, Paul, to ride on.
Well, I'm not sure that that's the best decision, Phil, because I think they could have done with Jurgen van den Broek down towards the end. Here again, you can see one of the riders who went down here from Team Lamprey. They went down very early on, going back to the shoulders of Cadel Evans, number 11. And they're starting to ride this course with only 8 men. And I think they may well regret that decision a little later on. They could have waited for him, and it would have only have lost them 14 or 15 seconds, and that man could have been very useful on the run in towards the finish.
They sacrificed him now. I can tell you that Lamprey, they just finished, and their word time was only the 4th of the 4 teams home, 49.53. They've lost 2 minutes to Team Katusha, so you see that's a huge time loss if you've got a man you think can win the Tour de France. I have to say though that Lamprey haven't. Well, as we watch here at Cadel Evans, and his face looks very, very concentrated here, I think, at the moment, and must be thinking, well, I hope I've made the right call here. One rider's gone off on the wrong side of the road. I think he was from another team.
It'll be very interesting, Phil, to see the time gaps that appear down towards the end of the afternoon, because some guys are not really looking for an awful lot of time. Tony Martin in second place is looking for 33 seconds only on Fabian Cancellara to try and get the yellow jersey for Team Columbia HTC. Armstrong in third position overall is only looking for 40 seconds to try and get himself the yellow jersey. And what a story that would be if he grabbed the yellow jersey after 4 years away from the Tour de France.
It will be incredible. Here we come, point 2 for Francis Desjeux, also slipping slightly away from the leaderboard. The fastest teams at the first 2 checks was Case de Pon, and the fastest team at the third check, which is still to come for these boys, was Team Katusha, and they stay in there with the best time at the moment. But the real exponents of the team time trial, they're all going to go out near the end. Surprisingly, if the best 4 teams that we think as team time trial teams are the best 4 teams in the race right now, so they start at the end. Right, well, here we are, Team Cervelo, the different team. It's a new team this year. Last year it was Carlos Sastre winning the Tour de France for Team CSC. That's changed its name to Saxo Bank now. There is Carlos Sastre. You can't see his eyes under the space-style helmet there, but I'm sure he's just hoping for a great ride from these boys now. He knows that if he can just get to the mountains within shooting distance of the likes of Contador, Armstrong, Evans, then he's got a chance again.
Well, he's got a solid squad here, Phil, a mixed squad of riders who can climb well to support him there, and good riders to look after him on the flat. And I have to say, a very strong man in there, because men like, of course, Thor Hushovd, who really is amazing, Inigo Cuesta and Jose Angel Gomez, those are guys really for the big mountains. Vladimir Gustov, he's a strong rider for the flat stages. And if you're looking for some help on the team time trial here, don't worry too much about Heinrich Hausler and Thor Hushovd, because they're big, strong bike riders. Andreas Clear is a rider who's very talented either on the flat stages or the big mountains. And Brett Lancaster, well, he's got a big V8 turbo engine in there. So too is Hayden Royalston, a former world champion on the track.
So they're the men they built around Carlos Sastre. Now they've got to get themselves together and up to speed very, very quickly indeed. Well, as we look at Silence Lotto here, they've just gone through the first check in the 4th best time, conceding 48 seconds despite that crash. This is amazing. They're really riding very well indeed right now without the one man they left behind.
The way I see it, all synthetic oils are the same.
Think with your dipstick, Jimmy. Aren't all synthetic oils the same? Think with your dipstick, Jimmy.
Synthetics or synthetics?
Castrol Edge. I'm going to try this.
Oh, no, that's thinking with your dipstick.
So why did you hit me?
Because you were thinking with your dipstick, Jimmy.
Think with your dipstick. Upgrade to new Castrol Edge. With 8 times better wear protection than Mobil 15W30. It's more than just oil. It's liquid engineering.
Welcome to Progressive.com. You must be looking for motorcycle insurance.
You're good.
Thanks. So is our bike insurance. All the coverage you need at a great price.
Cool.
Hold on, cowboy. I'm not done. For less than $1 a month, you also get 24/7 roadside assistance.
Right on.
Yeah.
Sounds like you ran a 500.
More like a 900 V-twin.
Excuse me.
Well, you're excused.
The right insurance for your ride. Now that's Progressive. Call or click today.
Growing up in a family with my dad winning the Indy 500, you take some heat. There's really no sport like it. We're inches apart, wheel to wheel, and one touch, and you're gone. It's a crazy lifestyle. That's how it goes.
This is the new iPhone, and it lets you do some pretty incredible things. You can copy a phone number and paste it in a text. You can copy an article and paste it in an email. Or you can copy a map and, well, You get the idea. Copy and paste on the iPhone 3GS, the most powerful iPhone yet.
I was matched with Dave. When I pulled up his profile, I just remember going, wow.
It was almost like you could sense her energy through her profile.
At eHarmony, our in-depth questionnaire lets us get to know the real you, so we can match you with other singles on far deeper levels than other dating sites.
It was different in the fact that we were very connected.
I felt like I was meeting somebody that I already kind of knew.
It was almost like we knew each other, but we just hadn't seen each other.
Let eHarmony help find the love of your life. Get started today with your free personality profile at eHarmony.com.
Hey, want to let you know I'm going to be off on Monday.
I never heard of Chinchilli Day.
Sure you have. It's called the Revolucion de Chinchilla. It was when the pet chinchillas of a tiny Pueblo town rose up against the people. For 3 bloody days, the fighting continued. Until finally, the last of the chinchillas was gone.
And how do you celebrate?
3 days in Vegas. It's a cultural obligation.
The 2009 Tour de France on Versus is brought to you by Cervelo, Enjoy Engineering, and by Nature Valley Granola Bars, the taste nature intended.
Welcome back. We're looking here at Team Quick Step. They only started with 8 men, of course, because they lost one rider with a broken collarbone. This is AG2R heading down towards the last kilometre of the team time trial. Overall, there's no change. Katusha still leads ahead of Case Depon, and Rabobank sit in 3rd place. Only 5 teams have arrived at the finish. And Team AG2R, they could well break into the top 3 because that's what they've been doing at all of the checkpoints. Pick up the head-on shot here as they head in. The time they're aiming at is 47.52 of Team Katusha, and they need to beat 48.49 if they're to get into 3rd place ahead of Rabobank. At the moment, they've got a nice selection of the riders here, if not all 9 of them here. They're trying to coax everybody on. The rider on the right will drop back. It's the 5th man that will stop the clock. The best time, 47.52. They're pushing it close here. They might well, they're not going to win, but are they going to slot in possibly in 2nd place? No, it's going to be a 3rd place finish, I think, for them now as they come up towards the line. They should comfortably get ahead of Rabobank as they finish off the race to the finishing line here. It's been a tough ride looking at the faces of these boys from the French AG2R team. There they are. They are in 3rd best time for them. Well, Astana will be the last team to go. We've heard from Levi Leipheimer and we have heard from Lance Armstrong. Our cameras stayed with the media scrum down there in the Astana region. We can now hear from team manager Johan Brunel.
Back in Monaco, we spoke about the need to find amongst your team answers to certain questions, I think was how you put it. Are you any closer to finding those answers within your team? I think you meant who's the strongest rider.
Can you repeat that question? I don't really...
Back in Monaco, yeah? You said you'd sit down with the team after the stage 1 and you'd find out some more answers to certain questions. And I said, which questions? And you said, I think you know which questions I'm talking about. I think you meant the strength of each individual rider in your team. Are you closer to finding the answers?
Not at all. You know, we have seen, right now we have seen the time trial in Monaco and yesterday a race situation. And there's been some questions about what happened yesterday and about the decision. The decision was made from the car to, at a certain moment when we saw that the peloton was not going to come back, to take more advantage. And after one night's sleep, I'm even more convinced that that's the right thing we had to do. If there is 8 riders before the race who can win the Tour, I think we have 4 of them in our own team. And anything we can do to strengthen that position, we will do it. So yesterday, at a certain moment, there's these 30 riders in front. We have one of our guys in there, and no other favorites are there. On top of that, let's not forget that one guy has won 7 Tour de France. So a little detail, but maybe not unimportant.
Well, very important given his experience, and it was
yes.
somewhat.
But you know, at any moment we will take advantage of putting the team in a stronger position if that's possible. And what happened yesterday, There's one rider who is one of the favorites to win the Tour, who's in our team in the front. We have to take advantage of that, especially because nobody else was there. So what happened yesterday is, it all depends, of course, what happens in the first mountain stages. But independently of who is in first position after the first mountain stages, this is not the last time we're going to see this kind of situation. And I'm not talking about Lance or Alberto. We could have the same situation with Levi or Kluden.
At the moment, Lance is third and Alberto's fourth. Does that make Lance, at the moment, the leader of the team?
You know, I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to be the strongest rider who wins the team, whether he's on our team or not on our team. Of course, I want that it's our team who wins. And the road is going to decide who that is. I've never said that we put all our cards on one horse. And tactically, I think that's a good thing to have.
Thanks, Johan.
Okay.
Well done, Johan Brunel there. I think he was talking with the British Television's Ned Bolting there, and Ned did his best to coax an answer out of him, didn't he? But he didn't get one. This team is going to go to the mountains with a number of riders capable of winning the Tour de France. I think that bit we already knew. We've joined the road again here now. This is Silence Lotto we're looking at. They're not going too badly, considering they were delayed with that crash to Jurgen van den Broek, who has been left behind, apparently. I'm just waiting till we pull out and see we've only got 8 men left. There's only 7 men, because we dropped, of course, the Steph Schieling as well. So they're down to 7. They can't afford to lose any more. Situation so far, there it is. Katusha still on top, 6 ahead of Case Depart. See you in a moment.
Wow, sweet minivan. Woo.
That's minivan A to you.
It's raining!
With the great taste of a McDonald's McCafe Mocha, a better day is possible. Freshly ground espresso, real steamed milk, and decadent chocolate. Go ahead, McCafe your day.
If you plan on building, furnishing, or remodeling your home, or you're just tired of paying retail, don't spend another dollar. Now, you can enjoy an incredible selection of top quality name brand products priced up to 50% less than retail. Take the first step towards saving hundreds or even thousands of dollars on nearly anything for your home. Call for your free Direct Buy Insider's Guide to Buying Direct and learn what retailers don't want you to know. Each full color page of the Insider's Guide is packed with powerful information. Discover some of the hundreds of thousands of products available from over 700 name brand manufacturers. Everything, including furniture, cabinets, appliances, flooring, lighting fixtures, and so much more, all without retail markups. At Direct Buy, you can't afford to miss this valuable opportunity. Call the number on your screen now to get your own Direct Buy Insider's Guide. You'll also receive a visitor's pass and map to the Direct Buy showroom nearest you. The sooner you call, the sooner you'll be buying direct. So call now.
Through the years, many things pass from father to son, like Aqua Velva Aftershave. Smells great, cools, firms, and tones. Cool. Aqua Velva, men get it.
Wake up your whiskers with Electric Shave. Electric Shave! Stands up whiskers for an up to 52% closer shave.
Man, that was close.
Electric Shave. Blade close. Electric smooth.
Michelle has had leukemia since she was 2. The Coleman twins were born 24 weeks premature. Max had his first surgery when he was 3 days old. These kids are alive today, and it's a real miracle. When your child needs help, there's a Children's Miracle Network hospital nearby. Go to childrensmiraclenetwork.org to support our hospitals helping local kids.
So let me ask you this, Kobe. You were grimacing a lot in the finals. Is the real reason because you knew you were missing Sports Soup on Versus?
How'd you find out?
You did. You love Sports Soup on Versus?
That's what it was.
Kobe.
That's what it was, man.
Well, tonight Versus delivers sports from soup to nuts. First at 11, no one in the sports world can hide from the sports soup's Matt Iserman, including Kobe Bryant himself. We've just seen him. Then's 11:30, Pride and Passion mix with a dose of insanity when the fans take over. Zach Selwyn hosts Fanarchy. Sports Soup and Fanarchy back to back tonight here on Versus. Oh, there's the departure of liquid gas as we continue our coverage of the team time trial here. They are the 14th team to go as they move off. They're carrying a rider with hopes of a podium finish in Franco Pelazzotti. And he wears number 91 on the far right there. This is the full lineup. Daniele Bonatti, the sprinter, but he hasn't had a chance to use his legs yet. The young white jersey wearer is Roman Kreuziger, or was until yesterday. Alexander Kuzinski, another former Baltic country there. Vincenzo Nibali, who is really developing into a great bike right now. That's the lead of the team. Franco Pelazzotti wants to come good and wants a top 3 finish. Sabatini, another strong workhorse. Brian Van Borg, he's a Danish rider on the squad as well. Alessandro Bonotti, and the team completed there by Frederick Willems. But it's all built around Franco Pelazzotti. The last 4 teams to go today are without doubtedly the best exponents of the team time trial. There's their start times. 2 the USA teams, Garmin Slipstream and Columbia HTC. Team Saxo Bank from Denmark, and the last team from Kazakhstan carries Alberto Contador, Lance Armstrong and Levi Leipheimer. Now, the rider at the back of the group here, I don't know if you caught a glimpse of it then, but it appears he's crashed. It's Nicky Terpstra, the Dutchman, but he's got a cut on. He must have come off on the Australian corner. Yes, he's sure to definitely rip there. So he's been down, and I would think he's done it on the Australian bend soon after the start, which brought to grief Denny Menchoff and Alessandro Ballan. So that's the corner to go and watch the time trial today, folks, I think. Well, no change in the overall at the moment. It's still as was, with Team Katusha on top, Case Depon and AG2R holding court in 3rd place. Only 6 teams have finished, by the way. And the 6th team is B-Box Bouygues Telecom, the French team. They've already conceded 3 minutes and 18 seconds of time lost to the best team. So goodness knows how much that will equate to when the last 4 teams get down to the line. This is Skilled Shimano here, one of the 2 wildcard teams, really enjoying their Tour de France this year. As they now come up to the line, it'll be a modest finish. It won't be a great result. They're not appearing on the leaderboard at all of the time checks. 1, 2, 3, 6. They've dropped 1 rider out on course as they come up. You can see the times going by, aiming at 47.52, long since gone. They've lost 4 minutes here to Team Katusha today because there's still a little while to go on. They must all cross exactly together to claim the time of the 5th rider, so it's no good dropping off. You lose a couple of seconds if you do. And there they come up to the line with a time of almost exactly 4 minutes, 51.52 for 7th place. Well, Bob Roll was once a great rider in the team times. Probably, I'm sure he will tell you. Let's check in with Bob Roll and Craig Hummer. What's on the menu tonight, boys?
Thanks, Phil. Well, we've got a few things on the menu, don't we, my friend?
We do have a few. I'm not going to tell you what they are, but they're going to be a lot of fun.
Well, I'll tell them what they are. We're going to have your good friend Paul Sherwen fill up with us talking about Lance Armstrong and team time trialing. We're also going to have our guest Robbie Ventura, Frankie Andreu, and perhaps even a special guest will be up here with us. But guess what? This next one's a secret, Phil, so don't blow it, okay? That's what else is going to happen tonight. Hope you join us.
Well, I better not say anything then, because Bob's probably listening to my commentary. So nice to see you there, Bob. You're looking very smart today. Well, we're now joining Cervelo. The first chance to see these boys out on course. At least you can pick them out in their new colours. Number 1. You only get the right to wear that number if you've won the previous year's Tour de France. Yes, Carlos Sastre. And she'll be feeling pretty happy. The team look as though they've got themselves in good order here. Now, this is one of the teams that's been down and checked out the course. All of those men heading out from the headwinds to the hills now before the tricky descents back down to the good roads. So they're underway. Remember, still to go is Garmin Slipstream and Team Columbia HTC. And there's big rivalry developing here at the Tour between these two teams. And more on that when we come back.
They probably won the most races last year, but does that make you the best cycling team in the world? I don't think so.
Gave her a home.
It's perfect.
But she is not who you think she is.
The orphanage you thought she came from has never heard of her.
You don't know how long I've waited for a family like yours.
Orphan, rated R.
Hey, it's our friend Bob. Looks like Bob continues to enjoy the big lift he gets from Enzyte and natural male enhancement. With over 10 million packs sold, Enzyte is firmly the #1 selling brand, bringing true natural male enhancement to men all over the world. Now you can join Bob and the millions of men who fully enjoy the benefits of Enzyte. Just call or visit Enzyte.com for a sample pack of the strongest, most powerful Enzyte formula yet. Enjoy the full, robust confidence that only Enzyte can provide. If you've ever been curious about natural male enhancement, there's never been a better time to try a sample pack of Enzyte. Visit Enzyte.com or call toll-free for a sample pack. Call right now and you'll also get 2 free packs of Enzyte Topical Rush. With an offer this big, it's enough to throw a parade. Sample packs are in stock now and shipped to you within 48 hours. Offer only good while supplies last. Limit 1 per household. Enzyte, the once daily tablet for natural male enhancement.
Right now, all over the country, Discover Card customers are getting 5% cashback bonus at the pump. Now more than ever, it pays to discover.
Growing up in a family with my dad winning the Indy 500, you take some heat. There's really no sport like it. We're inches apart, wheel to wheel, and one touch, and you're gone. I did 19 last year, and it's kind of a crazy feeling. You got all these friends at college taking history exams, yet I'm sitting there going 230 miles an hour. It's a crazy lifestyle. That's how it goes.
Every race is a battle, measured in fractions of a second, fought with a philosophy we call system integration, an approach to engineering where every motion of every rider, of every Super 6, is channeled into forward motion to maximize performance. Let the battle begin.
Hamels looks toward home. The pitch. He walks him.
Come on, Cole. Keep pounding the corner. Didn't chase one outside. Who are you?
Oh, Dad.
Oh, no.
Wearing the same cap the pros wear doesn't mean you're one. New era. Make the majors or buy one at the store.
My Impreza has a Subaru Boxer engine. It's perfectly balanced for performance and handling. I love that engine. And I love anyone else who loves a Subaru engine, too.
Impreza love knows no bounds. Love. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Lease a Subaru Impreza for $179 per month with only $12.99 due at signing.
Welcome back. The crowded streets we're looking at there is Montpellier for Team Time Trial. Now the Tour de France on Versus. It really is the most epic race ever. Follow the world's best riders online with exclusive tour content at Versus.com. Plus, sign up for the Versus Map My Ride Tour Challenge. You could win a trip to France to see the winner cross the line in Paris. Tour de France on Versus at Versus.com. Uh-oh, trouble here now. I think we saw this was one of the riders possibly in trouble, but he's certainly in trouble now because this is Fabian Weckmann. I'm very surprised indeed to see Weckmann struggling here, and I must presume he may have fallen. We've only cut to these pictures. Remember, we're live, and he's either had a wheel problem or he has fallen because Weckmann, former champion of Germany, I would not have expected to have cracked there. Either way, he is not getting back up to the team as our cameras have gone by him. Over this small hill, the team have opted to ride on and leave Fabian behind. Little bit surprised about that. He's clearly having a bad day. Now, three big teams going at the end of the race today is Team Garmin Slipstream, Columbia HTC. They're two American teams. And then, of course, the Astana-based team, which is the capital of Kazakhstan, which is Lance Armstrong's team and Levi Leipheimer's team. There's a lot of inter-rivalry between these three top teams. Take a look at this. Cappy won a great stage today. He is the fastest man in the world right now, Mark Cavendish. There's nobody even comparing. The man who's helped Cavendish to all of his wins now gets one for himself. And the dream continues for Team Columbia.
We've had such a great year. We won more races than anybody. That's unambiguous.
I was very surprised to see that. First of all, I don't think they're the best cycling team in the world. They probably won the most races last year, but does that make you the best cycling team in the world? I don't think so. I think we are the strongest team in the world, but I wouldn't put it on my bus or on the trucks or on postcards.
You look at the totality of what we're doing, I think we can back that claim up.
I think it's, everybody, of course, free to promote their name as they want, and everybody has different strategies, but I would never do that.
We're happy for that rivalry. I think that's what makes the sport interesting. And if there's other claimants to the throne, let's settle it on the road.
The more closer to the top you get, the bigger the fall and the less you got to gain.
He's a trash talker.
It sounds arrogant, it sounds brash, but it's hard not to win with relative ease.
The team's definitely focused on the team time trial in the Tour with Mark Cavendish talking all trash. Just makes us that more motivated.
Team time trial is very important. We got a great team, and it's very important for the teams to win that event. It just shows that obviously you're one of the best teams in the world.
We won that event a few times, and it became too dominant, and ultimately they didn't have it anymore. But now it's back.
I'm not going to make any big statements like we're the best team time trial team in the world, but can we win it? Of course we can.
Well, we'll find out soon, those three teams amongst the last four teams to go. It's great to have a bit of inter-team rivalry. That's what makes the sport, as Bob Stedman said, exciting for us, the commentators, and for you, the viewers. We're looking down on what is a bit of a hapless sight there of Silence Lotto. They're conceding over a minute already on the road. This is Cervelo. Well, Cervelo have gone through. They were the third team at the first check. Have they managed to improve? Case de Pont, Paul, is starting to show up now as a very good team out there with their early start time of being first team off.
Well, a number of years ago, Phil, when it was basically the Banesto squad, and then they became the Isla Baleares, they weren't very good at team time trialing, but they realized when they needed to ride well in the team time trial to try and win the Tour de France, especially with riders like Miguel Indurain, they had to spend the time to try and learn the discipline of team time trialing. So over recent years, they've actually improved quite a lot in this side of the sport.
Well, they've just about got in with the fourth best time, so in fact, rather than improve, they've slipped back a place at the second check to Cervelo. That is not good news for Carlos Sastre. Meanwhile, back down at the Astana bus, all the journalists have been sent away now. They've been here all morning. And so Armstrong warming up, Alberto Contador there, keeping topped up with the fluid. The warm-up is probably the most important part of the day.
No, it certainly is. The day, you may well think this is just a 39-kilometer day, but it's an awful lot longer than that, Phil, because what happens is they went out this morning very early on. They will have ridden the course in its entirety, 40 kilometers, gone back to the hotel and had a light lunch loaded up with carbohydrates. Then they come down to the start gate here and warm up for a good 45 minutes before they actually get into the starting house. And the reason for that is it's so important to have the engine hot before you start an event like this, because within 500 meters of the start of the team time trial, you've got to be almost at maximum effort.
Well, these boys really are paying attention to detail. They've also recce'd the course a number of times here. They know what it's like. Of course, they'll have done it in open roads and public traffic, which makes it a bit different to today when it's totally closed. Here is the team of Cofidis, who are now chasing the Spanish setup, Euskaltel Euskadi.
David Moncoutier there, the man who we expect to see go out on a long raid on at least one of the big mountain stages, and Cofidis now well underway.
Then we get down to the top 4 teams in the overall team classification. Next to go will be Garmin Slipstream, followed by Saxo Bank, followed by Columbia HTC, then Astana. So the boys from Astana, they won't be on those warm-up turbo rollers much longer. They've got about 28 minutes or so to wait for their final start time. The last team to go.
Well, Silence Lotto have just gone through the 3rd time check there with the 5th fastest time currently, and that's a loss of 1 minute and 6 seconds on Team Katusha, who have the fastest time at the finishing line.
Well, they won't worry too much, I don't think, about the time of Katusha, because they don't have a likely winner on the tour. They'll be more interested on the times and how close they are to teams like Case Depon, of course, and the teams that have yet to ride the route. It's very unlucky here, but we're just watching the lonely figure of Peter Rollick there from Team Milram, left by Tina. What has happened to Team Milram? Because here's another one. Here's our beautiful Trek Earlier view of the course, which comes in from the right here as we look out across the Languedoc countryside. But interesting to see that Team Milram have lost 2 riders now, at least. I think Nicky Terpstra was one of the riders involved in the crash. I'm wondering if we didn't see it certainly on camera, but that team has had a problem as well today. This is the situation at the finish. It'll be a little while before the next team comes in, but hey, if the next team's going out, we're more interested in Garmin Slipstream at 10:22. See you in a moment.
There is a company that is like no other company in the world. CEOs got started here, astronauts, and software engineers. You see, this company is filled with dreamers, but they also have courage, strength, honor, and when they leave this company, it will be with 1,000 opportunities and the respect of millions. There's strong, then there's Army Strong. To see strength like no other, go to GoArmy.com.
Would you like to put a stop to your partner's snoring so you could go to sleep and stay asleep every night? Introducing Pure Sleep, the stop snoring solution. Common snoring is caused when the airway is constricted, causing the soft palate to vibrate. Pure Sleep is a patented self-molded mouthpiece cleared by the FDA, which holds the jaw slightly forward, opening the airway so that the snoring stops. Look at the difference in these before and after images.
That is just the astounding thing. I have not snored. And so this thing works. It's easy to use, easy to mold, works like a charm.
I'm sleeping through the night and so is he, and we're waking up with more energy and not waking up in the middle of the night to say shh.
If it doesn't work, we'll refund the purchase price, refund the original shipping charge, and even pay to ship it back. Try Pure Sleep risk-free.
Visit us at puresleep.com.
Through the years, many things pass from father to son, like Aqua Velva Aftershave. Smells great, cools, firms, and tones. Cool. Aqua Velva, men get it.
Wake up your whiskers with Electric Shave.
Electric Shave!
Stands up whiskers for an up to 52% closer shave.
Man, that was close.
Electric Shave. Blade close, electric smooth.
It's the symbol of superiority for which they all fight. But every tournament only has one champion. 2009 will take a select few to legendary heights and bring others to their knees. But they continue the fight with some fresh faces entering the fray. Because it's what they know, it's what they do best. Watch the Champions Tour all season long on Golf Channel.
Growing up in a family with my dad winning the Indy 500, you take some heat. There's really no sport like it. We're inches apart, wheel to wheel, and one touch, and you're gone. It's a crazy lifestyle. That's how it goes.
that's the current situation, but where will that yellow jersey be tonight? It might well be on the Garmin Slipstream team quarters here, because this is the lineup now. The man who would likely take it would be Bradley Wiggins. He sits in 5th place in this race, exactly 1 minute behind Cancellara. It's a big ask. It means that this team must beat Cancellara's Saxo Bank team by 1 minute and 1 second if they're going to pull the jersey across to the club here. Bradley Wiggins would be the man. Let's have a look what Team Milram is doing. We're out of point number 2 here, just on 20 kilometres this check. There's Rabobank. They went through in 27 minutes. Team Milram, they've lost a couple of riders. 2, 4, 6. They can't afford to lose many more. Only 1, in fact. And otherwise, they'll have to wait for the 5th man and drag him into the finish. So Milram, they're going through very good, considering they've only got 6 men. 5th best time, 43. Waiting now to see the Garmin Slipstream start. We're cut back to Cofidis, who went round the Australian bend, and for Bingen Fernandez, he was in a spot of bother, but he's got back into the race, and they've got themselves all together again. And once more, they look like a good team formation here, don't they?
Well, their coach, Van der Lonzela, he's also been quite a technician for the French national squad in times gone by. This is Cadel Evans now, and he's really pulled something back, Phil, in the last part of this course.
Well, that's Evans on the far right, trying to drag the team. He's even opened a gap here, but it doesn't matter. Even if there's a second gap, it won't stop till that 5th man gets over the line. So this team, Paul, to me, has demonstrated it is not strong enough in this year's Tour de France. They are all at sea here, and this is a team time trial when your men should be all around you, and it's Evans himself who's having to do all of the work. Française de Dieu, 49.15. Silence Lotto haven't finished yet. They're just going to get ahead of Française de Dieu as they drop in there. Wait for the 5th man, 49.04. That's
but look at the gap. It's 1 minute and 12 seconds lost for Team Silence Lotto. Cadel Evans had the power himself here as he charges up to the line, but he put a gap between himself and the rest of the riders in his team. And as we've explained on a number of occasions, the clock doesn't stop in the team time trial until the 5th rider crosses the line, and that was 1 minute and 12 seconds after the time of Team Katusha.
Here we go, right to the start line now for Team Garmin Slipstream here, and this is a big chance now for Bradley Wiggins if he can get this team organised to do a great ride. If he beats the Saxo Bank team by just on 1 minute, he could be in yellow tonight as he drives away.
That is Bradley Wiggins on the front, 3rd place for David Miller, and these guys, I think, Phil, have got a lot of experience, and one of those teams that have invested time and money into this discipline of the sport. They realise how important it is. In 2nd position, Dave Zabriskie, the American time trial champion.
Well, Julian Dean is also in here, normally a lead-out man as a sprinter. He's a Kiwi. Tyler Farrell, the big sprinter, also a strong man in the team time trial. Rider Hejudal, another Canadian rider. This is a very mixed team with some good riders. Martin Maskant, who came in at the last minute. David Miller himself loves this event and will drive as best he can. Danny Page is a former young time trial champion. Christian van der Velde, he finished 4th in this race last year, coming back from injury. Wiggins himself is the man who could profit today if it goes well, and Zabriskie could be the man to help him. That's the full lineup in Garmin Slipstream. We've come over towards Liquigas here now, who are throwing quite a surprise in just now. They were 3rd best at the first check. There is Fabian Cancellara now of Saxo Bank. He is getting ready. Unusual for the yellow jersey not to be the last to start in a time trial, but remember, this starts in reverse order of the teams in the race, and the yellow top team is Astana. So Saxo Bank will go 3rd from the end.
Well, I'm just looking at this team here, which is led by Mario Sierra as the team manager. They are looking very well disciplined around those corners. They're not losing very much momentum at all. They've still got all 9 men from Team Liquigas. Extremely important for them, Phil, to do a ride here this afternoon if they want to get their men into the top 10 at the end of this 3-week tour.
10 kilometres to go. Cervelo look as though they're absolutely flying down here at the moment. 3, 6, 8 riders on the squad. They've only shed 1. They are sitting in 4th place at the 2nd check. Now we'll see what they can do at the third check. Katusha was now in the lead and still is at the moment at this check, as they lead also at the finish.
This is another indication, Phil, of how much variety there is in this team time trial course here. We've seen the riders having to slow down a lot to get themselves around the corners, to slow down going over the 3 or 4 climbs in the first part of the event, and the speed that you need in the middle part of the course when you pick up that tailwind section for around about 5 kilometers.
Well, Silence Lotto losing a minute 12 to Tinker Tuesday, but more importantly, a minute 6, I think, to Oscar Pereiro's Case de Pon team at the finish. So, as we watch here, looking across the capital here of the Languedoc region of Montpellier, we can go back to Frankie Andreu, I think, who's down at the start line this morning with Fabian Cancellara.
Fabian, with the team time trial, have you gone around the course, and is it a horse for a true team of horsepower, or and how technical is it?
I think it's more technical, but still the horsepower, they need to have all those non-riders, what's going on today for these 40 kilometers. And yeah, I don't like actually this parcours because it's not so much to do actually with the really those famous team time trial what we did in the Tour, but now we fight for this. We do our best because that's what we have, because we can't change anything, and we try to get the best out of it and fight as maximum we can to get maybe the win or to defend the yellow jersey.
Well, you have the yellow jersey. Yesterday your team rode very strong. Today, how do you see your team doing at the finish?
Yeah,
if you had to make a prediction.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, it's 40 kilometers, and it's not one can make the difference. I mean, I can't ride alone in the front and pull and do something by my own. On the end, it counts that the whole team works together, that we stay smooth, that we stay concentrate, that we get over excited, or even me, I can't ride fast. I can't ride like faster because I need to ride longer and fast. That's the thing what I have to do today, because I think today with my big condition what I have, I mean, I will for sure.
With it being so technical and roundabout, will you split up the team and have certain guys rotating at a certain point, or will you have 9 guys trying to go flat out the whole time?
It's gonna be for sure changing during the race, because with the roundabout, with the corners, it's up and down. For sure there will be some changing in the positions. That maybe a few riders they don't will pull, and then later on we need them for the flat part on the last 10 kilometers, because on the end it counts everybody, those 9 riders, as maximum possible to stay as long as possible with the whole group to get the best out of it.
All right, thank you very much.
Fabian Cancellara knows exactly what has to be done today as we move up course here. This is the second point for Liggett, who surprised at the first one. They're still holding third place at that first check. And the best time here is that of Case de Pon. Oh, no, it's not. It looks like it's going to be that of Liggett by 8 seconds. So they really are on a ride. They've now gone into best time at that second check at Montpellier. Down to the finish game once more. So as we watch here, the riders coming in. This is Quick Step. They look as though they've thinned out a bit. Paul Stein-de-Vold in the black jersey. And again, well, they haven't exactly hung around out there. Rabobank are in. Remember, they were delayed by the crash to Denis Menchov. Finished at 48-49. I don't think they're going to match the time of Rabobank, but they won't be far away from it.
Well, don't forget that these riders already started with a handicap, because they only had 8 riders after the abandon of Jürgen van der Walle with a broken collarbone a couple of days ago, and they're finishing here with 6 riders. That's Big Tom Bone, and over on the left-hand side, they're going to stop the clock, Phil, with a fairly respectable time. They weren't, I don't think, expecting to set the world on fire.
But they've beaten the time of Silence Lotto, Cadell Evans' team, which is does not all well, I'm afraid, because Quickstep really shouldn't have beaten Silence Evans. We're waiting now. This is the slow motion, the study of pain personified in the faces of the Quickstep team, as we're now waiting for the start of Saxo Bank. As the camera closes in, the maillot jaune of the Tour de France since we started in Monaco is off to the right, Fabian Cancellara. He must not concede time today if he wants to go off again tomorrow in yellow. This is Team Saxo Bank, and they start the 3rd team from the end, with Team Columbia and Astana still to come. Now, we've seen the team of Bradley Wiggins. They're 7 minutes up the road now. Our camera's waiting to catch up with those. And Wiggins, if his team beats this team by a minute, could be in yellow tonight. And Cancellara knows that.
Well, Cancellara knows that. He is a great individual time trialist. He's the Olympic gold medalist in the individual time trial, but that is a different kind of effort to this. He's going to have to pilot his men around here. They're led away there, you can see, Phil, by the rider on the front, who looks to me like one of the Sorensens.
Well, the champion of Norway in this team is Kurt Atle Arvesen. Fabian Cancellara is the yellow jersey leader. It looked like it was Gustaf Larsson on the front. The great Aussie Stuart O'Grady, who will drive in the team time trial. And, of course, on board here, they've got the two Schlecks as well, Frank and Andy. Andy is why they're going to ride hard for today. The workhorse on the team, Chris Anker Sorensen, and Nicky Sorensen, the former champion of Denmark. The team's completed by the evergreen, effervescent, I'm never afraid, Jens Voigt. Down to Garmin now as they are dancing along the course here. We need to pull back and see how good they're looking. So, riding on the front there at the moment and driving very hard is Christian van der Velde, who finished 4th in the Tour de France last year. It's all happening now. There are only 2 teams left to go, and Colombia is up next. We'll see you in a moment.
It's stinging a little bit more than usual. Yeah, you'll get used to it.
The longer you keep your high-mileage car, the more it pays you back. Get Castrol GTX High Mileage. It helps engines last longer by fighting the main causes of engine failure.
I think a dime went up my nose.
Yeah, it happens. Don't change your car, change your oil to Castrol GTX High Mileage. It's more than just oil. It's liquid engineering.
At TireRack.com, we don't just sell tires, we test them on our unique test track. Our results are honest, unbiased, and as real as it gets. Use this information to help decide which tires are right for you, your vehicle, how you drive it, and where you drive it. It's not just a test track, it's truth serum for tires. And it's only a Tire Rack, the Tire Rack Test Track. One more way, Tire Rack is revolutionizing the way you buy tires. TireRack.com. Research, buy, deliver, install.
I really was looking for something that would be real, and that's why I chose eHarmony, because it's much deeper.
Only eHarmony finds you deep, meaningful matches based on 29 proven dimensions of compatibility.
I never would have met Tara without eHarmony. She's incredibly intelligent. She has a smile that lights up the room. I don't know how I could love her any more than I do right now, but tomorrow I'm gonna love her more.
Get started at eHarmony.com today and review all your matches for free.
We all have confidence. We all have doubt. But when the moment comes, what's gonna win? Here's to confidence.
I've been dreaming, I'm dreaming about.
Gillette helps you look, feel, be your best. Gillette, the best a man can get.
Buckle up, everybody, because we're taking a ride that can strain your relationships and hurt your pride. It's the credit roller coaster, and as you can see, it kind of bites. So sing the lyrics with me. When your deck goes up, your score goes down. When you pay a little off, it goes the other way round. It's just the same for everybody, every boy and girl. The credit roller coaster makes you want to hurl. So throw your hands in the air and wave them around like a wannabe frat boy trying to get down and bring them right back to where your laptop's at. Log on to freecreditreport.com. Free credit score and report with enrollment and triple advantage.
Oh, hi! Welcome to Progressive.com. Are you all right?
A ferocious white whale wrecked my boat.
Well, I'm sure we can help you, Captain
Ahab.
Well, it looks like you haven't had a claim in over 4 years, so you don't have to pay a deductible. That means you saved $500.
$500? I could get an electronic fish finder.
That's the spirit.
Saving you money on boat insurance. Now that's Progressive. Call or click today.
The Tour de France, it's the most epic race ever, and it continues tomorrow right here on Versus. There's more great stages to come. Tomorrow, stage 5 from La Cap d'Agde to Perpignan. We're live at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Watch out for stage 7 on Friday from Barcelona to Arcolis in Andorra. That will come to you new time, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. And don't miss either our nightly expanded coverage with Bob and Craig, which starts at 8 Eastern in the evening. Tour de France on Versus, and the team time trial has provided one or two spectacular pictures today for sure. Now let's see if we can give you any more. We've caught up with Garmin Slipstream, who are looking very good here. The Garmin American team pushing on, hoping that they can deliver a yellow jersey tonight to Bradley Wiggins. We're going to watch the time checks with a very big interest at the moment. Liquigas is setting up the surprise. They've gone through the second check with the best time at the moment, 26:01. We are panning down the faces now of the American Columbia HTC team. Mark Cavendish has done his bit these last 2 days, Paul. He's won the stages. Now, can they make an impression in the overall situation by winning this team time trial?
Well, they will be hyper motivated. They've got the world time trial champion over on the left-hand side. That's Bert Grapps. They've got the Australian time trial champion on the left-hand side. That is Mick Rogers. And they've got the experience in third position there of big George Hincapie.
Mark Cavendish also can ride a team time trial. You watch him, he's a very subtle rider. There's the world champion jersey on the shoulders of Bert Grapps, the only man with the right to wear that. As we move away now, let's hope to get round Australian Bend there, because an awful teams haven't. Rabobank hasn't, Balan hasn't. The team itself consists of Marcus Burkhardt, very international team, Team Hyro. Mark Cavendish from the Isle of Man. Bernard Eisel, for example, he's an Austrian cyclist. George Hincapie is the anchorman in his 14th tour for the United States. Kim Kirken, champion of Luxembourg, he's another guy that rides a time trial well. Tony Martin is sensational at the moment. He's in second place in the race. Maxime Montfort, another big workhorse. Mark Renshaw is the lead-out man and a very strong man for Mark Cavendish. And former 3-time world champion Michael Rogers completes the lineup. The Team Columbia High Road squad have won 53 bike races around the world this year so far.
They are the most successful and probably one of the most flamboyant teams on the block. Sorry about the little bit of picture breakup going through the Arc de Triomphe there, the copy of the Arc de Triomphe at the top of the Champs-Élysées, and this is the precarious corner that's been nicknamed. There's a problem here for Team Garmin, and this is rather a shame to see.
Tyler Farrar.
He's the sprinter on the squad. The team manager, Matt White, coming up alongside and probably just giving him a little bit of encouragement. But look at the time of Garmin Slipstream, Phil. They went through the first checkpoint in second position, just looking for 7 seconds.
Well, they've gone through in 12:42. We're watching the start of Team Columbia, and immediately out of that checkpoint, you're on the climbs, and the climbs are hurting, and that's Tyler Farrar. He's gone off the back, and they've opted. He's got to be left behind and push on, because they're looking for a minute for Bradley Wiggins to take over the lead. And don't forget the team chasing them now, Columbia High Road, they are only looking for 33 seconds to put their man, Tony Martin, in the overall lead.
A lot of maths and a lot of working out being done there. Just sitting at the back, number 56, that's David Miller. Just looking over his shoulder, you might just have noticed that rider, Danny Pate, was probably a little bit surprised, because he was counting the bodies as he slipped back down the line, expecting to slot in behind Tyler Farrar there, and then all of a sudden he's lost the wheel, and that's not a good sign.
He's gone. Garmin are in desperate trouble. They've lost 2 men here, and they're only into the 11th kilometre of the course. Now Lance Armstrong has come up to the start as he now makes ready again for a team time trial. The last time he rode the team time trial on the Tour de France, in fact the last 3 times he rode it, he rode his team to victory. That was how he won his Tours de France. Now here he is again in Montpellier, 37 years of age, the year 2009. We never thought he would come back.
We certainly didn't. If I may say, Phil, I think he's looking rather lean and mean at the moment. He actually mentioned before the start of this Tour de France that he was at a lower weight than he was at any of his previous tour starts, because of the fact that he participated in the Tour of Italy beforehand, and I think he's weighing in at the moment at 71 kilograms.
Let's see what the mechanic's doing to his bike here. He doesn't like people touching his bike at this stage of the race. That's Alberto Contador, who's pulled on his national time trial champions jersey. He won a week ago. Just behind him, the red, yellow and white of Spain. What's Lance doing there? He's making sure his pedal's in the right position as he's brought up to the line. This is desperate moments for Garmin here, because this is Julian Dean now who's in all sorts of bother. I make the calculation 3 off the back of the team. So let's see if we can get to the in-car here and hear what's going on with Matt White.
5 seconds.
Well, just see if Matt is going to say anything. He's looking pretty concerned down there. I'm not surprised. Our cameras are all over the place, but so far we've seen 3 men detached from that group.
Tyler's fucked. Tyler's gone.
So there's a problem here. This is our Geico.com camera in the car.
Yeah, he's done. 8 riders now. 8 riders.
Ah, so somebody's come back then, because they've got 8 men.
Tyler, put down. Tyler, recover 1 minute to get into a rhythm, okay? It's okay for the time cut.
So they've decided they've got to leave Tyler Farrar, and that's a definite decision now.
Nice steady on this climb. Nice and steady. We have 8 riders now.
Well, they've started very, very quickly. It's not looking very good at the moment either for Garmin Slipstream. We're waiting for... They've gone through in 2nd place in the 1st check. They're not quite there at the 3rd check yet. And just looking at the number of riders here now, there's no 8 riders there anymore. 1, 2, 3, 4... 5 riders. They can't lose anymore. The time will be taken on the last member of the Garmin Slipstream team. Dave Miller is there. Zabriskie is there. Wiggins is there. Well, that's a sorry sight, Paul, isn't it? They've only got 5 men left, Garmin Slipstream now. OK, they're all great time trialists, but they've got a job on their hands. Let's go back to the start of the last team of the 20 teams. The leading team overall in the Tour de France. There were yellow numbers because of it. And this is Astana. Alberto Contador. The last time he rode the Tour de France, he won it, but there was no team time trial in it.
No, but I think he's got a solid squad around him. He's got a squad that's made up of firepower and incredible experience, and I think they'll be looking to do something very special here this afternoon. I think it's a tall ask for Lance Armstrong to try and get 40 seconds back on Fabian Cancellara in the team time trial, because it's only 39 kilometers in length. However, you know, this is a strange Tour de France this year, and anything can happen.
I think this course has caught so many people out today. You're right, anything can happen. The last 2 the teams clashed. They were known as CSC and Discovery Channel. Much longer time trial. Discovery beat CSC by a mere 2 seconds, so 40 sounds a million light years away. But even so, it can happen. And the concentration there on Lance Armstrong. The secret is train and train and train again, which is what this team has done on this course. They know every bend in the road. Alberto Contador once could not ride a time trial. Now he's the national champion of his country. The cheers for Lance Armstrong. The French newspapers tell me how unpopular he is. The French people tell me how much they like him.
Well, I think I'll stick to the sound of the crowd there. That's an indication of how much this man is popular at the Tour this year.
The countdown now for Team Astana. As it gets to 0, we roll away. Armstrong is back in the team time trial, but it's not just about Armstrong. It's about moving your prawns up the teams now. A full team of Contador, Armstrong, Cloden, Leipheimer, Mourier, Polino, Popovic, Rast, Zubeldia. This is a team of winners. They're wearing the yellow numbers as the leaders of the team race. And if they win today by more than 40 seconds over Cancellara's team, Armstrong, as the highest of the team, will be in yellow.
I think the secret of this team time trial here this afternoon, Phil, is really trying to keep the team together for as long as possible. It's a very cohesive squad, of course. It's led by Lance Armstrong and Alberto Contador.
With a little extras thrown in the mix, because Andries Cloden has been twice a podium finisher as well. Levi Leipheimer has been a podium finisher in this Tour de France. As Team Milram have come in here with the 9th best time. You've got other big names there. Paulinho, he's a Portuguese silver medalist in the Athens Olympics. Jaroslav Popovic pitch, left Cadell Evans to come back to the side of Armstrong and Contenders. Gregory Ratz, he's the workhorse out in the countryside, while Heimar Zubeldia will look for Contenders and for Armstrong in the mountains. Here comes the Australian bend, which so many have come to grief. They're taking it very sensibly, I suggest, and now you can get on with the racing, boys.
Well, they've probably been watching a number of teams go around that corner, but the big advantage I think these last 4 teams have, Phil, is they've been to this course on a number of occasions, whether it was a week before the start of the foot course or whether it was just this morning to check it out and to make sure that they had all of the corners fixed into their minds.
Well, through the S's here now, settling down for what is a very, very short ride for these boys. If they want to be the best time at the moment, they've got to beat 47 minutes and 52.38 seconds of Team Katusha, who have watched all the teams come in thus far. Now everybody is out on course or has finished. So we quickly move up the road here to see Saxo Bank also looking very well drilled. All scrabbling for the back wheels there with Spartacus setting the pace on the front. Look at the Olympic time trial champion in the yellow jersey driving on. They're riding just ahead by 7 minutes of Lance Armstrong's boys. We'll be back very quickly.
Wow, sweet minivan. Woo.
That's minivan A to you.
It's raining! With the great taste of a McDonald's McCafe Mocha, a better day is possible. Freshly ground espresso, real steamed milk, and decadent chocolate. Go ahead, McCafe your day.
A car wash for under $1? Incredible! A car wash and wax for under $1? Impossible! Until now, introducing the SpongeTech car washing system, the revolutionary way to wash and wax your car to a professional finish. SpongeTech's patented soap infusion process builds the soap and wax right into every fiber of the sponge, revolutionizing the way you clean from now on. And right now, just to get you to see how revolutionary the SpongeTech cleaning system is, we'll give you enough SpongeTech cleaning sponges for up to 8 car washes and waxes, 2 detailing sponges, and this ultra-absorbent chamois. But wait, there's even more. If you call right now through this special TV offer, we'll triple your order. You'll get enough SpongeTech sponges for 24 car washes and waxes for just $14.95.
To order your SpongeTech car wash system, call 1-800-844-2198. That's 1-800-844-2198. Call now and we'll triple your order for only $14.95. That's 24 car washes and waxes. Don't delay. Call 1-800-844-2198 now.
May I help you?
Yeah, I'm looking for car insurance that isn't going to break the bank.
You're in the right place. Only Progressive gives you the option to name your price. Here.
A price gun?
Mm-hmm.
So I tell you what I want to pay.
And we build you a policy to fit your budget.
That's cool. Feel so empowered.
Power to the people! The option to name your price. New and only from Progressive. Call or click today.
Hey, I'm Jake of Body by Jake and founder of Exercise TV. It's time to make the commitment to lose weight and get fit. That's why I created Exercise TV, to give you access to the best workouts from the best fitness trainers. Exercise TV delivers hundreds of workouts every month, so you'll never get bored. If you have digital cable, it's free on demand. And now, Exercise TV takes fitness online with exercisetv.tv, where you can get free workouts, downloads, and exclusive exercise tips. Make the commitment. Your workout is waiting.
The clock is going to...
Well, don't forget to enjoy our Fantasy Cycling Challenge. It's completely free to play. Just log on to versus.com. Come on in and sign up. Choose your team. There are great prizes and it's great fun. And the prizes include the team strips of some of the biggest teams in the Tour de France. The real competition starts tomorrow. The practice run will end. So then it's for real, boys. Well, it's not really. It's fantasy. Versus.com, the place to go. Well, going back out to the mid-check here of 0.2 at 19.5 kilometers. Garmin down to the minimum requirement of 5 riders. Now, they were in second slot at the first check, but they've lost men since then. Have they kept it together? Because they have indeed. They have gone first place with only 5 men. 10.66 seconds. All the top time trialists are here, and they were simply too fast for the rest of the team. So as a 5-man squad, they're getting on with the job. Best time at the second check so far for Garmin. And remember, there's only 3 more teams to reach those checkpoints. And we're looking at one of them now, right now, as Astana of Contenders, Leipheimer, Lance Armstrong, looking very, very organised down there, and are moving extremely quickly. That's Lance Armstrong just doing something to the back of his jersey there, then getting back into his time trial position. Well, here come Team Liquigas. Now, Liquigas here have only got 5 men, so the front 4 are trying to drag him to the line because he can't keep on with them, but he's come up with the best time. So the time check at the last minute has been confirmed. They have got best time 47.27, which is a 25-second beating of Katusha. Well, they're looking very good down here now, Paul. The time of Liquigas is an interesting one. It's knocked Katusha off the pile. Now we'll see. Garmin Slipstream only got 5 men left, including the time. All of the time trialists, Wiggins, Miller, and Zabriskie are there, and they've gone best time at the second check. I wonder if they're going to surprise us all with only 5 riders.
Well, if there was only 5 riders to remain, they've got the best 5 riders they wanted there. They've got all the big powerhouses. They've got Bradley Wiggins, David Miller, Danny Pates. Those are the guys who know exactly how to ride a team time trial. Of course, add to that Christian van der Velde and Dave Zabriskie. There's a lot of firepower. That's and I think they've taken that decision. We've got to try and win the team time trial. Our best 5 are here for the team time trial. The other boys have got to get in and beat the time limit. Well, look at Fabian Cancellara. Oh, that was close. Did you see that on the left? I thought he'd gone and joined the B-box boys down in the ditch. And Cancellara showed us there what a great bike rider he is. Look, there's plenty of room, but on the left here. Watch Gustav Larsen as well, though, because he was right over to the left-hand side. It's caused a little bit of consternation there. They've caused a bit of disorganization. Cancellara now needs to sit back and allow the guys to reform into one job lot.
Andy Schleck is number 31. They won't let him drop far behind. He's their favourite to win if Saxo Bank are going to win this year's Tour de France. But that was a very, very shaky corner there, and it was Gustav Larsen, I think, who went very close to the edge and going over the side and following the boys from the B-Box French team earlier when they lost 4 men over there. Well, we're going back to the fancy legs here of Team Astana, the team leaders of the Tour de France. Look how tight that formation is. They are riding very, very well. We won't know how well till we get to that first check.
Well, it's Armstrong in person, setting a long turn at the front with Contador in 3rd position. 2 really strong bike riders. Armstrong here dedicating himself to the effort of the team in the team time trial, a discipline of the sport that he has always adored since he turned professional way back in 1992 after the Barcelona Olympic Games.
Well, there is the full setup. While Garmin Slipstream have gone flat out and shed their riders, but they've kept the best 5 in order. Now, after that wonderful turn, Lance Armstrong drops to the back of the team, looking to see where he can slot in. He's counted the riders down, goes in behind big Gregory Rast. That's not a bad choice, Lance. Gregory Rast is so big, he gives you plenty. In fact, it's not Gregory Rast now, it's Andrews Cloden he is riding behind.
Nicely round that corner. We've seen a couple of teams come unstuck as we go further up the road now to see Garmin Slipstream with 5 riders. Now, Matty White will be in the team car behind. They've got the fastest time at the second time check, 25.50. The first team to go inside the 26-minute mark. But I think they will be slightly disadvantaged, Phil, on the run in towards the finish because they've only got 5 men. But I suppose it's the right choice of men.
Let's just have a look what the check is as they go through. They haven't stopped the clock as far as I can see at the moment, but they're well up. Well, they've gone through Garmin Slipstream 25.50, so they are leading 11 seconds better than Liquigas, so they've moved from 2nd into 1st place. And so Garmin Slipstream are doing. Let's have a look what Matt White is up to in the car here, the Geico.com camera. Oh, we can't go there. I thought we were going to go. Yes, there we are. Is he going to speak? Or is he speaking? If he is, I can't hear him. No, don't think we can hear him at the moment. He's telling them to stay to the right at the moment. Now, apparently the plan has been... The plan has been to actually shed the sprinters and give the 5 time trialists here a real rip at the finishing line. I can tell you who's left here, by the way. Christian van der Velde is here. Ryder Heyerdahl is here. David Miller is here. Brad Wiggins and Dave Zabriskie. They're the 5 left in that. Now, let's see what's happening here. Saxo Bank are coming through to the second checkpoint. Slipstream were there in 25.50. Saxo Bank were only 5th and 19 seconds off the pace to Cees de Paan at the first. Well, Saxo Bank have looked good, Paul, but it hasn't shown up yet. The first check for them was 19 seconds down on Cees de Paan and 12 seconds down on Slipstream, who were in disarray. Now, what's going to happen here as they race up? There is the time of Liquigas, 26.01. It's still counting here, Paul. This is not going to be a great ride, I don't think, at the moment. The faces are looking like they are really struggling. Third best time, 14 seconds off the time of Garmin Slipstream now. So Bradley Wiggins still needs another 45 seconds if he's going to be Maillot Jaune tonight.
That's a tall order, but you have to bear in mind that Fabian Cancellara, I think today, is riding like 10 men, and he's dragging this team along and giving them a chance to recuperate, and they know that in certain parts of the course they will have a big advantage of having a larger number of riders than Garmin Slipstream. Garmin Slipstream, I think last time I looked at them, Phil, it appeared that there were only 4 riders doing the pacemaking, because I think even Ryder Heyerdahl was now starting to look a bit under pressure.
Well, it's the big 3 plus Ryder Heyerdahl and Christian van der Velde who are in that group. Dave Zabriskie, David Miller and Bradley Wiggins. They're the 5 riders. We're down at the finishing line as Euskaltel Euskadi come home. Are they going to confirm themselves with a good result here today? The Spanish non-team time trial riders are in 5th place at the moment, looking at the time of AG2R, and as they come up towards the line, they might just get the better. I think it's a bit too far. They'll go behind AG2R, but they've brought home the minimum 2, and the 5th man is just about hanging on here to get the time for them as they come up to the line. In fact, he's just about unhitched as well. It's a long way up to the line. Rabobank were in 48.49. They should beat the Rabobank ride. They're looking over. Where's our 5th man? As he comes up, they'll go into 6th slot.
I think they'll be satisfied with that performance, Phil, because these are the men who will climb high in the mountains once we go into the Pyrenees.
What's happened here?
Astana losing a man. This is Gregory Rast.
Well, they've unhitched their big powerhouse diesel engine. Gregory Rast here over the climbs, and he's been left to fend for himself. They can't afford to wait. Our cameramen are now being given permission to pass him and move back up to the team. The man driving along there too is Lance Armstrong. So as they continue now, 1 man down towards the finish. Well, let me remind me, fans, we wanted to remind you to go to wearyellow.com and write your message of hope and inspiration. And if yours is selected, you could see it spelled out on the streets of the Tour de France. That's by courtesy of Chalkbolt, Nike, and the place to go is wearyellow.com. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 riders left. Gregory Rast is the man who has been left behind. The others are still driving on here to try and earn a yellow jersey initially for Lance Armstrong today. But the low Saxo Bank are not ripping the road apart. They are lying 3rd on the road just now, behind Garmin Slipstream, who are the best, and Liquigas in 2nd place. So, what will Astana do about that? We'll take another break.
Would you like to put a stop to your partner's snoring so you could go to sleep and stay asleep every night? Introducing Pure Sleep, the stop snoring solution. Common snoring is caused when the airway is constricted, causing the soft palate to vibrate. Pure Sleep is a patented self-molded mouthpiece cleared by the FDA, which holds the jaw slightly forward, opening the airway so that the snoring stops. Look at the difference in these before and after images.
That is just the astounding thing. I have not snored. And so this thing works. It's easy to use, easy to mold, works like a charm.
I'm sleeping through the night, and so is he, and we're waking up with more energy and not waking up in the middle of the night to say shh.
If it doesn't work, we'll refund the purchase price, refund the original shipping charge, and even pay to ship it back. Try Pure Sleep risk-free.
Visit us at puresleep.com.
Before the start of the race, I can feel my heartbeat in my hands, in my throat, in my eyes, everywhere. Fear and the stress, it makes me better. What do I see at 230 miles an hour? It's tunnel vision, and you have one goal, the checker flag. Speed is about winning races, breaking records, and making history. Speed is my drug.
Time trial is special. You go on the start line, you are alone, and you have to perform. Specialized bike fitting was here to get something better out of me. Sometimes you ride, but maybe with the wrong position, and this little bit was changed, even when it's only 1 second out of 1 hour race. I want to get the best out of myself, and I want to get the best out of my bike.
So I'm going to see you at my seminar on Monday.
Actually, I'm out for Shinwhack.
Shinwhack?
It harkens to the days when men would compete for the hand of a young maiden by whacking each other in the shins. In one legendary battle, the whacking lasted for 3 long days.
So how do you celebrate?
Party in Vegas.
Adaptive friction extinguishers? And hypertronic wear resistors? Seriously? I use one that offers an engine guarantee. Yeah.
Only Valvoline guarantees your engine up to 300,000 miles. Get Valvoline. Get guaranteed.
Is this your house?
Now it's your house, too.
I think there's something wrong with Esther.
In every family, there are secrets we hide.
I'm going to do whatever it takes to protect my children. What did you do?
Orphan, rated R.
Coming up to the next time check.
Welcome back. Garmin are heading up the road here. Let's check in the team car with Matt White with Geico.com.
Coming in, we go. Coming in.
Well, they're giving the time checks.
Everyone's on. Everyone's on. Good job. Good job. Stay left, guys, stay left. Now we're 30 seconds fastest.
But he's saying that they are 30 seconds fastest. That was the French radio was coming through in the car.
Fastest time by 30 seconds, guys. Exactly the same as Astana. 30 seconds. Super effort, guys.
Right.
Going on the right-hand side of this roundabout, guys. Right-hand side. Right, we're fastest every time. Yes. Bring him home.
Well, we'll have to break away from that, but it's Garmin are leading with 8 kilometers still to run, I think, by half a minute. This is Team Columbia now, coming up to the second point. They were not in amongst the leaders, I have to tell you, and they still are not in amongst the leaders. This has not been a great ride by Team Columbia today. as they go through, only 5th here at the second point, which is a slight improvement on the situation back at the first point. Astana have gone through with the second best time, and it's amazing, but Case Tapan did a great ride from the first team out of the blocks. Cofidis approaching the finish. Well, it just shows you the quality of the performance of Case Tapan today, Paul, with Astana only dropping through the first check in second place. Garmin Slipstream look to be resetting up the leaderboard as they approach the finish. This is the arrival of Cofidis here, but they're way down the list here, going past the 10th position. So they're into the second half of the teams finishing now. 20 teams in the Tour de France. We're not surprised about this, I don't think, because, again, there's no one on this team looking to win the Tour de France, just have a good tour.
And it's that little added motivation that can take a team to a slightly higher level, and that's why Garmin Slipstream, that's why Team Saxo Bank, and that's why Team Astana, Phil, have raised the bar to that level just a little bit higher. Defending fairly well, Team Saxo Bank. They're 15 seconds behind Garmin Slipstream at the second time check, but, you know, I have to say Fabian Cancellara's got a fairly comfortable buffer over everybody else.
Well, it looks as though the battle for the big win is going to be between Garmin Slipstream of David Miller and Bradley Wiggins and Christian van der Velde and the Astana team, because they have gone through. These boys are dodging all over the road right now. They've gone through the first check, Astana, with exactly the same time as Garmin Slipstream. Garmin Slipstream will be heading home very shortly, but Astana still to reach check number 2.
Well, you may well have just noticed that little bit of a wave there. That's what happens when you're just concentrating on the wheel of the rider in front of you, and a little blustery gust of wind comes across sometimes. You've got to be so alert when you're in a team time trial formation like this, and you want to get as close as possible to the wheel of the rider in front of you, because there you can get that little bit of assistance from the slipstreaming effect, which at these kind of speeds can save you up to 30% of your energy.
Well, Cancellara playing more than his part as the driver of this train today for Saxo Bank. I think he's doing enough to keep yellow, but we won't know yet. They look very, very good out there, that's for sure. They're doing just enough, but strangely enough, they're not going to be possibly even on the podium today. There are 9 riders still together in a long straight line. Garmin, we know, are burning up the road now, and they cannot be far away from the finishing line. Their time is indicating it will come in as best time, and the challenge will possibly come from Astana. We're still waiting to see Astana go through check number 2. Garmin Slipstream, no, still got the 5 men. Here they are as they try now under the banner. And this will be 2 kilometers from the finish, about 2 minutes the way this is. As Garmin Slipstream pass under 2 kilometers to go, it looks as though they might well land the fastest time until the arrival of Astana, and that's not certain that Astana will win. Garmin Slipstream, Paul, have been remarkable. Their plan was to go out fast. If they lost the sprinters, they lost them, and they've been left with the 5 top riders on the team.
Well, this was obviously a preordained plan for this team, but they knew they had the firepower. When you look at the names of the riders who are still in that group, they've got a very good chance of pulling off something very special. This is the rider from Kazakhstan, Muriev. He's gone out of the back, and that's not surprising because of the pace that Astana are going out on this course. It is quite blistering.
Well, the old days when Lance Armstrong was riding with Discovery Channel, they finished all 9 men. That was the big thing, and always the fastest time. But now it looks as though there's different levels of ability on the squad. They've shot off 2 riders, and there's a nasty split down there.
And it's also, Phil, let's not forget it's also the kind of course that we're looking at here this afternoon. Now, this is looking at the second checkpoint, and the time to beat. The fastest time is Garmin Slipstream, 25 minutes and 50 seconds. It's quite a long way to go from when we picked them up.
We're exactly the same time at point 1. So at point 2, who has had the better next part of the race? 24:51. This is looking very, very strong here. We're still counting a little way out, but it looks to me as though the cost of those 2 riders might well have been because of the high speed as they charge towards this second checkpoint. We're coming up to 19.5 kilometers here. Now we're into the same minute, and as I said, they were locked and split by thousandths of a second only at the first check at 10 kilometers.
25:50 was the time set by Garmin Slipstream at that point, 19.5 kilometers, but the advantage could tilt towards Astana because they've got more riders. Yes, they've lost a couple, but they've got the firepower of Lance Armstrong, and they've got the firepower of Alberto Contador. Here's Garmin Slipstream in the finishing line.
Well, they've gained 23 seconds there in that second section. Now, what is Garmin going to deliver? It'll be a new best time here. Liggett set the trend of 47.27. Garmin Slipstream are now in 46.47. They've done what they can do. That's the best time on the board, and they've done it virtually the whole way with just 5 riders. Unbelievable. There's the faces then of the big effort here. That's Wiggins on the right there. Let's have a look in the car. Well, you can't do better than be first. That's the trouble is now is Astana climbing up the rankings a bit too quickly here, because they got 23 seconds out of them in just 9.5 kilometers between the two Czechs, 1 and 2.
Phil, I have just been doing some calculations here, and at the second time check, Lance Armstrong's team Astana have gone through 38 seconds faster than Team Saxo Bank. That puts Lance Armstrong 2 seconds away from taking the yellow jersey in the 2009 Tour de France.
And this is a man who was playing it down, saying it wasn't possible, nice to dream, etc. at the start this morning, but they've picked this pace up tremendously, because in just 9 kilometers between checkpoint 1 and checkpoint 2, Astana picked up 23 seconds on the 5 riders of Garmin Slipstream. It looks like nothing changes, not even the passage of time, does it?
Can you believe it, Phil, if we go back to 2003, the 4th stage, 2004, the 4th stage, 2005, the 4th stage, the team time trial, it was US Postal Service, it was Discovery Channel, and today we are once again on the 4th stage of the Tour de France. The name of the team is different, but the performance is exactly the same.
You see, nothing changes. 5 kilometers to go now. This is Saxo Bank, surprisingly not on the ride we thought they would be on. They're still the 4th fastest on the course with all teams through, but only the 4th fastest. They're actually riding slower at the second check than Liggett. They've got the better of Liggett now at the 3rd check. They are 24 seconds slower than Garmin Slipstream, which is putting them about 47 seconds now slower than Lance Armstrong, who is riding to a maillot jaune tonight.
Well, at the second time check, he was looking for a mere 2 seconds, and he's still got great firepower in this squad. Yes, they've lost a couple of riders out on the course, but when you've got Alberto Contador in your squad, when you've got Levi Leipheimer, Andreas Claude and Lance Armstrong, you've got some serious big engines in this group.
Well, these are the men who are going to take us down towards Spain in the next couple of days, where it might swing advantage Alberto Contador. But Johan Brunel yesterday saw his man Armstrong getting the breakaway, so taking enough seconds, which seems to have put him now on the brink of once again becoming the leader of a Tour de France. There he is at the back, number 22, and it's looking like they're riding to a provisional time of around 46.30, which would be sensational. 46.47 is the time of Garmin Slipstream, which indicates they might be slowing down just a bit.
Well, they may be a fraction, but they've got the firepower of the largest number of riders compared to what Garmin Slipstream had, and they should be able to keep this going. You know, the man on the front now is the Spanish time trial champion and the winner of the Tour de France 2 years ago, and he is going to ride his heart out, because not only is he pulling Lance Armstrong up towards the possibility of a yellow jersey, he's also distancing all of the other rivals that he's got with a chance of winning this bike race overall after 3 weeks.
Well, this is now Saxo Bank. They're at 3 kilometers from the finish, still with all the men there. And being driven here by Fabian Cancellara, who is fighting now to save yellow. Now, don't forget to log on to Versus.com/ride-of-your-life. Do it every day for the Tour, your chance to win a trip to next year's Tour de France or a Cervelo S2 bicycle. And you need the code words today, which are Team Time Trial. Well, I have to say, this is turning out to be, again, a gripping finale to a stage of the Tour. Garmin Slipstream are home and not dry. They're sweating profusely now as they watch the clock here, because they know the only team that's going to get at them is this one, Team Astana, the team of Alberto Contador, number 21, and Lance Armstrong, number 22. And it's number 22 who could be in yellow tonight.
And what a clever move yesterday when that race split up on the run in towards the finish. Lance Armstrong was the second best rider in Team Astana. Getting into that move and leapfrogging over his teammate has given him the chance and the possibility to pull on the yellow jersey once again here this afternoon, Phil. And I thought we'd close the record books on Lance Armstrong. The number of days that he'd been in the yellow jersey, the number of stage victories. Well, I think we'd better get that old book out again.
Yes, Eddie Merckx's record is in danger now of being caught up by the American, I think. Saxo Bank coming up to 2 kilometers to go. They will know these times because the team direction will have told them on their race radios what is going on. So Cancellara will know. He's fighting now to keep his yellow jersey, which he thought he would keep at least until he got into the Pyrenees. But no, the boys are in trouble because we've got another rider crack here, and this is Stuart O'Grady now, who is an excellent team time trial rider normally, but at 2 kilometers to go, it's job done for Stuart. He's letting the team race to their 5th man for the time.
Well, Stuart O'Grady, I think, must have given some massive turns at the front. This is the second to last team out on the course. Columbia, HTC, they are the team that have the green jersey and the white jersey in their midst, and they were looking to try and rival the time. It looks as if that was a 38.29 for them, and that should pull them quite possibly up into 4th or 5th position.
Well, if that is the case, we'll wait for it to be confirmed, but maybe they are coming back. You're right, they've gone through into 4th place, Paul, so they are continuing to lift their pace here and fight. They must be aware of what Garmin has done, their arch rivals, and also what Astana behind them is doing, because they don't want to concede too much time here, as it will affect the overall standings tonight in the Tour.
Well, everybody was looking to this team time trial to see how it would change the face of the overall classification. Mark Cavendish has gone through that corner like a bullet there, as if he was running into the finish. Team Saxo Bank in the finishing straight.
We're looking at the Maillot Jaune, but is this the last time we'll see Cancellara in yellow? Astana yet to finish, of course, and Fabian Cancellara is taking on the driving train himself. Spartacus just pumping those big thighs, doing what he does best, rider time trial. Look at the way they're trying to grab his back wheel, because it's the 5th man who will stop the clock, and he'll be gritting his teeth now to try and stay in with it. Garmin Slipstream are the best time in 46.47. That time was already gone. It would need to be 47.47 if Bradley Wiggins was to be the new leader of the Tour for Garmin. That hope I don't think will happen. We're into the 47th minute now, though, as again Cancellara leads all the way, stops the clock, 47.09, and that is the second best time. For the moment, he is still in the yellow jersey, Paul, but there's trouble a-coming.
There is certainly trouble a-coming, and it's coming in the shape of Team Astana. I've done the calculations already. Lance Armstrong and Team Astana, Phil, need to finish inside of 47 minutes and 49 seconds if Armstrong is to grab the yellow jersey tonight.
Now we've switched here to Astana. They've lost a couple of riders, but the computer is telling us they are absolutely flying to the best time here. If it is 40 seconds quicker than the time of the team who has just finished, then it is Lance Armstrong who will be in yellow tonight. And that, I thought, was unthinkable today.
And I'm not sure if you've noticed, Phil, but it's Armstrong who is leading the team over and over again at the front end of this line of Astana riders. He is a man completely and utterly on fire today, and I think if we cast our minds back to an interview that he gave just before he was asked whether or not he or Contenders was the leader of the team, he mentioned in return, I think having won the Tour de France on 7 occasions, I do need a little bit of respect. Well, he's dishing out some respect this afternoon.
Yes, I got the feeling he, for some reason, was a little bit angry. There's the Spanish flag flying at the moment, and this is the Basque flag as we continue now towards the finish. There he is dancing on those pedals now, saying, guys, we're going. Let's go, because Lance Armstrong does talk when he's in the line, and he keeps the encouragement to the riders. They're driving on now with everything they've got left in the tank, because now I think they know it's racing for yellow time.
Well, they're racing for the victory, they're racing for the pride, but they are, as you say, still racing for the yellow jersey. At the 3rd time check, they're looking at the time of Garmin Slipstream. team. That is the fastest time at that point. It's 37 minutes and 49 seconds. But what they're also looking at is the time of Team Saxo Bank, and to beat it by at least 40 seconds.
Well, they are less than a minute and a half from the third check, which will tell all. If it's more than 40 seconds, it's got to hold on and get down there in the time check, and that will give Lance Armstrong a yellow jersey. They've been going for just over 35 minutes at the moment. Garmin Slipstream hit the check in 37:49, but these boys are definitely quicker than that. And it's now Contenders on the front. Just look at the wheels here now of the Astana team as they race towards this third check. They are absolutely crucifying themselves now. If we could only just see their faces right now. Our cameras aren't allowed to go in front, of course, but this third check is going to reveal a big picture for Astana. Just to remind you, Garmin, Paul, 37:49 is the time they're shooting at.
And they're shooting at the time of Saxo Bank, which is 38:13, and Lance Armstrong wants to go 40 seconds inside of that if he can. I just did a recalculation of my finish time. It's actually 46 minutes and 29 seconds is what Lance Armstrong and Astana need to finish inside of if they're going to take the overall lead tonight.
46:29. I never thought we'd be doing the maths on a Lance Armstrong yellow jersey ride ever again after 2005, but we are, and it looks like once again it's going to go in favor of the tough man from Texas, because now they're waiting for the check to come through there. They've gone through the 10 kilometers, and it's not very long after the 10 kilometers where they will pass this checkpoint. Now 37:49 is the best time. The finish time 46:47 by Garmin Slipstream. Saxo Bank sit in second place, 22 seconds off the pace. We switched here, Team Columbia HTC, as they are getting round towards the end. They are slowly moving up the overall, this team.
They're at 3 kilometers to go, Team Columbia, but look at the power here of this squad. Astana, a massive big turn on the front there was being done by Levi Leipheimer. The time that they're looking for at the third time check, if Armstrong is trying to get the yellow jersey, is 37 minutes and 33 seconds, and I think they've still got the firepower to do that.
Well, the clock has gone by 37 minutes 18 seconds and counting, so that it's going to be pretty tight here, and I'm wondering if they're slowing down just a little bit in favor of Garmin, so they're going to have to push on. Of course, they're really comparing themselves with the time of Saxo Bank, as I see there Alberto Contador quickly grabbing a bottle and a drink, and he might well throw it off at this moment in time. The clock must be dead. There is the time check. We haven't come up with a time check. Gosh, that's annoying. We'll get it very, very quickly when it does come up on our computer.
My guess is it was 37:43 roughly, but I'm not sure, because
37:32, Paul, is what it was, and that has put them in 17 seconds better than Garmin.
But it also puts Lance Armstrong into a yellow jersey position by a single second at 10 kilometers to go to the finish.
Unbelievable. There we are, 37:32. Astana, best time. These are the final times at this checkpoint. Garmin is in second place. The importance, Saxo Bank, 41 seconds. How far behind was Lance Armstrong there last night, Paul?
40 seconds. Well, there's still this run into the finish, and they're still going to really dig deep, these boys, because they'll try and open up the gap a little bit more than the 1 second advantage it is at the moment. Armstrong will have heard that information right now. So too will Alberto Contador, Andreas Kloden. As we look again at Armstrong on the front, you can see the Livestrong helmet there, black and yellow.
Well, there's going to be some celebrations around the Astana car tonight if this is the way it is going to be. We'll see a whole different Tour de France tomorrow as well. Astana, only one more checkpoint to come. It's at the finishing line. Number 22 is Armstrong. 21 is the terrifically talented man from Spain, Alberto Contador. And Levi Leipheimer is there as well. Andreas Kloden is 23. There's Leipheimer, the smallest man in our picture at the moment. Armstrong digs deep and tries to jump onto that back wheel. Yellow is just around the corner. 1 second, it might be 2 or 3 by the time we get down there.
They've just got to keep the pressure up on this last 9 kilometers of the team time trial course here this afternoon.
Well, we are looking at the backs of numbers 21 and 23. Andreas Kloden is 23. 21 is Contador. After 3 time checks now, this is the leading team on the road. They are 41 seconds quicker than Team Saxo Bank at the moment. Armstrong was 40 seconds behind Cancellara overnight. We have now switched down to the finishing line as Team Columbia High Road, who have been gaining all of the time, Paul, and it's Mark Cavendish who's trying to drag his team to the line here.
Dragging his team up to the line. Just behind him is Big George Hincapie, world champion, Bert Grabscher, Mick Rogers, Australian time trial champion, Kim Kirken, Luxembourg time trial champion. They're trying to see whether or not they can slot into the top 4 or 5. They were one of the pre-race favourites for this discipline.
This has been a real tough ride for them. They've hit the line, they've improved all the time, but they'll have to settle the 4th, and it'll be 5th, I'm afraid, when the time is known from Astana, who are now out on the high road and should be here in approximately 6 minutes.
Cavendish looking over his shoulders there at George Hincapie. Grabsch is gritting his teeth there after what has been a very difficult ride for these guys from Colombia, but they've already got an awful amount of success out of the Tour de France. 5 kilometers to go, and at the speed these men are charging into Montpellier, Phil, that shouldn't take them very much more than about 5 minutes 30, 5 minutes 40.
So Team Astana, they shed 2 riders very early on today, and they got on with the job in hand of cutting their way through the time checks. They were only second best time at the first check. They were on top of the time checks when they got to the second and the third. All that remains now is the big finish. They are looking very, very neat and tidy. There's no longer any passengers in this team. Time is on the 5th man, and at the moment, the 5th man is Alberto Contador.
Contador wearing 21s, Spanish time trialing champion. Armstrong in second position there, his helmet in a slightly different color to everybody else's, bedecked in the program that he's trying to promote as he's come back to the sport of professional cycling, the Live Strong campaign. There was the banner just in front of them indicating 4 kilometers to go to the finish.
Well, we're going back in time today, that's for sure. Lance Armstrong, the last time he rode a team time trial in 2005, the last 3 times he rode in the Tour, he won. And it looks like it's going to be deja vu again today on the streets of Montpellier. And as so often happened in the team time trial, Armstrong pulled on yellow, and it looks as though that is going to happen as well. Now, he's got to finish in a time of 46 minutes and 29 seconds to pull on the maillot jaune.
Well, at the 3rd time check, it was a single second that was separating him from Fabian Cancellara, but it depends how strong Fabian Cancellara was, Phil, over the last 10 kilometers of this race. And we know that the Swiss, an Olympic champion in the individual time trial, will be hyper motivated to drag his team in over these last 9 kilometers. It really is all going to be about the clock, whether it's going to be smiling for Armstrong or smiling for Fabian Cancellara. Currently, at the last time check, it was on Armstrong's side, but we're not yet at the finish.
Well, it wasn't a great time trial by their own reckoning in Saxo Bank as we go under 3 kilometers to go here. They're in second place, yes, but they weren't quite as smooth and as organised. And it was probably, rather than it being the big flat freeways of the area around here, they chose this very technical course, and that is probably the reason that Saxo Bank have not appeared to be quite so cohesive. But Armstrong's boys, who came down and checked this course out on a number of occasions, they've learned every bend of it. The technical bits behind them now, it's on good smooth tarmac. The wind is in their tails. The yellow jersey is out on the washing line down at the finish, and it looks as though it's Armstrong who's going to take it off.
Well, they're looking at 2 things here, Phil. They're looking at trying to get themselves the victory and the pride of being the strongest team, and many people have dubbed this as the best Grand Tour team in the world. They want to win the stage, and if they do, it's a reflection of the power that the team has got. But they're into the part of the course now where it's rather nasty because it drags uphill towards the finish, and they're shedding off one more man, and that's Jaroslav Popovic.
Well, he's done his job. He's not required now, of course. He's driven this team. He's played his part. Popovic, he's now dropped off the back as we top this little rise. His legs must be screaming with pain because you don't often get rid of Jaroslav Popovic. These boys are now in overdrive at 2 kilometers to go. It quite literally is every second that counts.
And just a brief reminder there, you can see they are down to 6 men in Team Astana. They need to stop the clock when the 5th rider crosses the line, so they can't lose very many more men in this group as they keep the pressure on. They are trying to win the stage. They're trying to beat Garmin Slipstream, but they're also trying to see whether or not they can dethrone the man who started the day in the yellow jersey, Fabian Cancellara. You see the arms there going out. That's to indicate danger. Be careful. We don't want to go down at a point like this. Around the corner, nice and fast, and lining themselves up for, fortunately, very soon, the final kilometer.
Well, that's the last tricky bit there, and they've come through it safely. 44 minutes and 56 seconds they have been riding at the moment, not much longer. The Astana team are now in between the crowd barriers here, but the crowd is waiting down at the finishing line. This is the last difficult approach to the finish. They're getting round safely, yes. Popovic has gone. 6 riders are left. They can afford to lose one more. It is 1 kilometre to go, and they have 1 minute and 14 seconds to do it. That must be easy.
It's not that easy. You normally cover the final kilometre at a speed of around about 1 minute and 10 seconds, but it climbs up to the finishing line here, and it is very difficult indeed. Armstrong, number 22, straight onto the front, right onto his wheel is Alberto Contador. Getting onto the back there of Andreas Kloden, 23, is Levi Leipheimer. They're into the finishing straight. A reminder, they need to finish inside of 46 minutes and 29 seconds if Armstrong is going to grab the yellow jersey.
Well, the time of Garmin Slipstream, the best time is 46.47, and we haven't hit 46 yet. And Armstrong, so familiar of 4 years ago when he was bringing his team to victory in the team time trial. Look at that now. Alberto Contador puts his head down. These guys aren't enemies at all, as people have tried to indicate. It's the team that counts. A massive piece of work by Contador. Even Armstrong at last appears human. He's gritting his teeth as they drive up now. 46.29. They've got to do it. They need to kick very, very hard here, and they've done it by a matter of, oh my goodness me, 46.29. They have done it, Paul, but we're going to go to a countback as to who wears yellow.
We are going to have to go to a countback because it is extremely close, and it'll go down, Phil, probably go down to the 10th of a second. We're going to have to wait for the judges to come back on that one, but that is so close, and it goes to show how strong Fabian Cancellara must have been over those last 10 kilometres.
Well, this is amazing, and yes, you're right, it was Cancellara, Spartacus, who got into his own because the course became his. Good smooth freeway towards the end. He was able to use his immense strength, and he's pulled his Saxo Bank team up. Now we're going to have to wait while the fight starts here, as Lance is trying to be guided through at least to the area once he gets through. But I'll tell you what, it appears to me they have stopped on exactly the second to make recovery exact to the seconds he was behind. Now the rules say if the riders in the yellow jersey are equal on time, it goes down to the fractions of a second in the time trial.
And the fractions of a second will be in the first individual time trial, and of course the fractions of a second in the team time trial here this afternoon. Congratulations there. They don't yet know which way the yellow jersey is going to go this afternoon, but I'm sure there's some referees not too far away from us, Phil, are doing some very rapid calculations.
Yes, they'll be doing their own team time trial now, I think, with the beads of sweat forming on the brow, because the Tour de France likes to get everybody presented because of the live televisions around the world watching this. But that, you just can't write a better script than that. It's unbelievable.
Well, there's the confirmation, Phil, coming through on the computer that it is exactly 40 seconds, but it's the tenths or hundredths of a second that are going to make the difference here this afternoon. And I have to say, I'm slightly on tenterhooks here, waiting for the real result.
Well, Team Saxo Bank have finished exactly 40 seconds behind Team Astana. This is going to be trouble for someone. Who will it be? As we look out over the finishing line here in Montpellier, there's no good asking me now, folks. I can't work this one out. It's gone far too complex. So stay with us. We'll give you all the answers when we come back. Team Garmin Slipstream did their best. Astana, have they done their best to get Lance Armstrong in the yellow? We'll know soon.
Looks toward home. The pitch. He walks him.
Come on, Cole. Keep pounding the corner. Give him a chase one outside. Who are you?
Oh, Dad.
Oh, no. Wearing the same cap the pros wear doesn't mean you're one. New era. Make the majors or buy one at the store.
When it comes to going bald, you now have a choice. Advances in medical science have resulted in the world's first and only permanent solution to hair loss.
It is your real hair. It's your natural hair.
You wash it, you cut it, you swim with it.
Bosley is the world's most experienced hair restoration experts, having pioneered virtually every major advancement in the art and science of hair restoration.
I'm very satisfied, very happy with what I've done. This has got to be one of the best decisions I've made in my life, I'll tell you that.
Bosley Hair Restoration is a relatively simple outpatient procedure. The results look completely natural, and it's affordable on nearly any budget. Call the toll-free number now to receive your free, no-obligation information kit that will help you decide if hair restoration at Bosley is right for you. You don't have to accept going bald. Do something about it right now.
Call 1-800-480-3231. That's 1-800-480-3231. Call now.
Do aches, pains, and arthritis have you in their grip? Break the grip with Aspercream Heat Gel. Extra strength medicine delivers penetrating heat relief without embarrassing odor. Fast pain relief that keeps you going for hours. Aspercream, break the grip of pain.
Travel, stress, eating on the run. Diarrhea stops me in my tracks.
Stop it fast with KO Pectate. Unlike pills, KO speeds to the source, shutting down diarrhea and its discomfort fast.
Really fast.
Stop diarrhea fast with KO Pectate.
Crank it up. The ultimate NASCAR pre-race party is only on Speed. NASCAR Race Day. Be there. You'll be in the middle of the action. Live with John Roberts, Jimmy Spencer, Kenny Wallace, and thousands of NASCAR's biggest fans. Be there. Be there. And get the inside track with live reports from Wendy Venturini.
Let's get to the stories at hand.
Don't miss NASCAR Race Day. Built by the Home Depot. All season long. NASCAR on Speed. Oh, yeah. Be there.
Welcome back to Montpellier. While you've been away, there's been pen and papers flying everywhere here to see just who is the next leader of the Tour de France. Well, there he is. He's been told to go to the podium and claim another yellow jersey. Fabian Cancellara has been given the nod by tenths of a second. Just watch this now. Look at that, he says. I'm in the lead, but 0 is his advantage tomorrow because we'll go out tomorrow with 2 riders equal on time, but not good enough for Armstrong to go above him.
Well, it is so close. That was an amazing team time trial. Quite exciting after 4 years away from the Tour de France to see it once again back at the top end of the sport. Cancellara, I think, must have dragged the team to the finish, Phil, over those last 9 kilometers. This man has got a heart of gold, and he wants to keep that yellow jersey for as long as he can. And now he's facing up to a big possibility of keeping it all the way down to the Pyrenees.
You see, it was such a powerhouse over those last few kilometers because the course changed his advantage. Had this been a main flat road course, Saxo Bank may have even have won today, but it suited the style of riding of Astana much more than Saxo Bank. But once onto the flat roads, they really did drag this one out of the trash can and hand it back to Fabian Cancellara. Let's have a look how it all went down in our Cadillac performance highlights here. What a day. We did promise you a great day. It started off with all the crashes. Just watch this. At the Australian corner, we call it, because all the flags were there. Down goes Denny Menchoff.
Well, Denny Menchoff was the first rider to go down then, but a little bit later on, there was another number of teams that came unstuck in that same corner. This was probably one of the most dramatic crashes. B-Box, Bouygues Telecom, and check that out. Watch the guy on the left-hand side there. He's straight into the field. I think that was Lance Armstrong on the road to Gap a couple of years ago.
It was the Japanese rider on the team, and that's what happened. Silence Lotto certainly had a bad day as well. They crashed even when there was no reason to blame the course, and that was Vandenberg who went off there. Team Garmin, they rode terrific, but they started off so quick they shed 4 members on their team, which left them with the minimum 5 to make a great time. They got faster and faster.
They started off reasonably, but as they went through all of the time checks, they started setting the fastest time, even though they had 4 riders, even though they had 5 riders. But once they got to the finish line, they posted the fastest time, and that was the time that everybody else had to see whether or not they could beat.
And there was only a handful of teams, 3 to be precise, still to come in. Team Saxo Bank, they were nursing the yellow jersey of Fabian Cancellara. Everybody felt it would be impossible for this team to lose 40 seconds and to lose the yellow jersey to any of the other teams. Wasn't to work out that way, though, was it? They kept together, though, as a very strong team. They had a narrow escape on the B-box bend, though, where the French riders went off, but they got away with it.
They were a well-drilled squad throughout the whole of the final 10 kilometres, and that's probably where they pulled themselves back into this with, of course, the powerhouse on the front, Fabian Cancellara. A great finish by Team Saxo Bank and a very close finish in the overall standings of the affair.
Wasn't such a great day out for Team Columbia HTC. They were led away here by the time trial champion of Australia on the far right. That was Michael Rogers. But they didn't really, they made a slow start, then they gradually did start to tickle the heads of state on the leaderboards. But by the time they got home, they were only in 4th place.
Yes, but that left still one team out on the open road, and that was the team that everybody was wondering what was going to happen to as Mark Cavendish looks back into the eyes of George Hincapie here. But last out of the starting gate, of course, Team Astana, and everybody wondered what these guys were going to do. Could Lance Armstrong once again, 4 years later, pull on the yellow jersey?
Well, he said before he started it would be impossible. He didn't think they could take 40 seconds out of Team Saxo Bank, but it's turned out that's exactly what they have taken out of Team Saxo Bank today, 40 seconds. And he's not pulling on the jersey tonight by tenths, possibly even thousandths of a second. But what a great ride this was, Paul. They shed 2 riders, but Contenders, never ever tell me again that guy can't ride a time trial.
Well, he certainly can, and he can climb extremely well, and this may well be the point here that Team Astana lost the 1 second that could have given them the yellow jersey at the end of the day. Cloden and Leipheimer charged up to the line, but the clock stops in the team time trial when the 5th rider crosses the line, and the 5th rider there was Lance Armstrong.
Clock has stopped, and it stopped fractions of a second, literally fractions of a second, too late to give Lance Armstrong a yellow jersey tonight. It would have been the perfect return, wouldn't it?
It certainly would. He was excited, though, to win the team time trial. It's a part of the sport that he's always loved and appreciated, and they've got themselves the win here this afternoon, and that's exactly what they came here to do on this stage.
And that is our Cadillac performance highlights of an extraordinary team time trial. Let's look at the stage results. Astana win the team time trial, just like the good old days. 17.9 seconds quicker than Garmin Slipstream, 40.1 ahead of Team Saxo Bank. That's the crucial figure. And 57.93 ahead of Liquigas, with Columbia nearly a minute down on the winning team. That's a long way in 5th place. Team Katusha led for a long time in 6th place. Case Dupont 7th. They led for a long time at the first checkpoint. Cervelo shouldn't be too happy, I don't think, with only 8th, a minute 37 back. Euskaltel lost 2 minutes 9 seconds. That was to be expected. The team missing out of this lineup, Silence Lotto and Cadell Evans, there they are in unlucky 13th place. Cadell Evans conceding 2.5 minutes today to Alberto Contador, and I really think that is an awful lot of time you've lost losing a team time trial, because you're not going to get it back in the mountains, I don't think. Paul, how is it these scenarios always work out like this? We've done so many Tours de France, and we're now talking of what? 1/10 of a second? 100th of a second? 1,000th of a second?
It's quite phenomenal, but it's all about the strength and courage of the riders and the actors of the Tour de France. And today I have to say that it was great to see Lance Armstrong back. It was great to see his team riding as they did right at the front of the team time trial. But I think it was the heart and pride of Fabian Cancellara that dragged his team to the end. You've said on so many occasions that when you put the yellow jersey onto your shoulders, it's as if you're sprouting wings. Well, I think Fabian Cancellara had 2 sets of wings this afternoon over the last 5Ks.
Yep. Well, I'm hearing now that we can go and speak to one rider on the Garmin Slipstream team, Christian van der Velde, with Robbie Ventura.
Christian, you were down to 5 guys relatively early. Was that the strategy going in?
No, that's never the strategy. But, you know, on a course like today, maybe it was good to have 4 really good guys and up and down speed and keep the consistency, keep the speed consistent.
You guys spent a lot of time reconning this course. What things did you take out there today that give you the advantage?
Oh, we didn't spend any more time than anyone else. I mean, I don't want to get this like the Giro again, but you know, I think everyone just really knew there was the wind, you know. You got back on this road and it's only going to be 12 minutes to the finish line.
Any surprises out there today, or did everything go as planned?
Mostly for plan. You know, you can never count on how your body's going to react to 70K an hour rather than 50K an hour through some of those corners and the wind. And we were watching on TV, and the guys are crashing everywhere, so that's not a confidence builder by any means.
Only 5 guys for almost the last half. What part did that play in this time trial?
That hurt. That's the part that hurt. But you don't get as much recovery. And Ryder was sitting on, actually, most of the times it was really 4. So, anyways, Ryder did a great job coming through at the end. He had to stick it out more than anyone did.
Thanks, Christian. Great ride.
Yes, the secret is in the success of the 5th man. He's the weakest or the strongest. That's the way it is. Look at this now as the chance tries to get through. These are scenes of a few years ago. All he wants to do is get through to the area where he will be presented to the crowd as winner of the team time trial with his team. It's a bit of a tough battle, this one.
Yeah, well, this is a rock, and I don't think they were expecting Lance to get so close to the top of the overall classification, and he just seems to handle it fairly comfortably. He's got a lot of security men around him just trying to evacuating himself from the finishing truck, and it's almost the sign of the times of 4 years ago, isn't it, when he moved away from the sport in 2005.
He's as popular as he ever was, Lance Armstrong. He has boosted interest again in the Tour de France. The American rider has certainly made us know he is here. Well, he's going round the back of the podium here now, where he will be presented on the podium with the rest of his team today. And then we will see the yellow jersey presented to Fabian Cancellara. But tomorrow it'll be 0 time gain over Lance Armstrong. Does that sound familiar to you? We'll take a break. Do stay with us. This is a historic moment in the Tour de France.
Just another perfect day. I think I'll walk this way where the trees do sing. I'm feeling part of everything, and all my troubles seem to fade away. Skies look brighter.
The hybrid for everyone is here. The Insight, designed and priced for us all from Honda.
Wow. My bike? Alberto's bike? Lance's bike? Wow.
If human achievement can be determined not by speed or strength, but by character, then it's easy to see who the most amazing athletes really are. Be a fan of dignity, acceptance, and the human race. Volunteer, coach, or compete in Special Olympics.
With my bike. Yo necesito mi bicicleta para el tour. With Lance's bike. With Levi's bike. Wow.
Growing up in a family with my dad winning the Indy 500, you take some heat. There's really no sport like it. We're inches apart, wheel to wheel, and one touch, and you're gone. I did 19 last year, and it's kind of a crazy feeling. You got all these friends at college taking history exams, yet I'm sitting there going 230 miles an hour. It's a crazy lifestyle. That's how it goes.
If you want to learn to effectively defend yourself against an opponent of virtually any size, Gracie Combatives is for you. The Gracie family has spent over 80 years developing the most effective system of self-defense the world has ever known. UFC champions, Marines, Army Rangers, Navy SEALs, Secret Service, SWAT, FBI. All use Gracie Combatives because it is the fastest way to street readiness, guaranteed.
Close the distance, execute the takedown, achieve the dominant position, and finish the fight. It's that simple.
Begin to master the 36 most effective techniques of Gracie Jiu-Jitsu with a no-risk 30-day trial of the entire series. That's right. Call right now and get all 13 DVDs to preview in your home for only $9.95.
Sometimes you don't pick the fight picks you. Learn Gracie Combatives. Be ready.
Call now to get your 30-day in-home preview of all 36 lessons for only $9.95. But wait, when you call, we'll also send the Gracie Combatives Handbook and Fight Chart. Yours to keep no matter what. Call now.
Here's the thing that makes life so interesting. The theory of evolution claims only the strong shall survive. But the theory of competition says just because they're the strong doesn't mean they can't get their asses kicked. That's right. See, what every long shot come from behind underdog will tell you is this. The other guy may in fact be the favorite. The odds may be stacked against you, fair enough. But what the odds don't know is this isn't a math test. This is a completely different kind of test. Don't be surprised if somebody decides to flip the script and take a pass on yelling uncle. And then suddenly, as the old saying goes, we got ourselves a game.
Well, welcome back. What a battle we have witnessed today. Team Astana fought all the way to the line to try and give Lance Armstrong a maillot jaune. This man drove his team all the way to the line to try and keep his maillot jaune, and he's done it by a fraction of a second.
Well, I have to say I'm really impressed with this man this afternoon, because he probably dragged the team over the last 4 or 5 kilometers just trying to keep hold of that yellow jersey. He probably didn't, at 30 kilometers covered, believe that he was going to be in yellow tonight, but he never gave up until the last possible moment.
Well, it's been a wonderful day in Montpellier. It's been a pretty hot one as well. Huge crowds out on a very, very difficult time trial course. Let's go down and see the men that conquered it best. Team Astana back on the podium, and the man who's led them onto it is Lance Armstrong.
Well, Armstrong today was riding an exceptional team time trial, and many, many times was he the rider to go up to the front. Alberto Contenders there looking very happy, because he's made a great operation here this afternoon, because he's also extended his advantage over everybody else in this bike race alongside Lance Armstrong. This team, Phil, is going to be a very difficult team to beat in the Tour de France, but we still don't know which rider they were going to put up to be #1.
They are keeping their books open here. It's who rides best will decide, that's for sure. We may not know till the mountains of the Alps, never mind the Pyrenees that join us this weekend. There's Lance Armstrong taken the back row by choice. Alberto Contenders, officially the team leader by his race number 21. He's on the left, and off go the flowers first. Well, I think Alberto must be, because he threw the flowers and everybody else followed.
Exactly. And interesting to see, Phil, that this is almost a winning streak for the team. The same team structure, because they've basically won the team time trial every year, 2003, 4 and 5. They reintroduced the team time trial this year in 2009, and bang, it's exactly the same team structure. Different name, but similar names.
The man in the yellow jersey there, by the way, is the great Raymond Poulidor, who used to be engaged in a personal battle with Jacques Anquetil. Raymond became known as the eternal second of the Tour de France. There is the stage result, 46 minutes and 29 seconds, which is the 1/10 of a second we have to look at. Garmin Slipstream in second place, rode extremely well today with 5 men. Saxo Bank slotted in third place, 40.11 seconds was their time, and looking at 40 seconds behind rather. Liquigas fourth, and Colombia were in 5th place. That 40 seconds, exactly what Cancellara was behind, was ahead overall, and now he's equal on time with Lance as Ben Stiller steps up, the actor, to give him the maillot jaune.
Well, I'd like to know exactly what that time gap is, Phil, because it obviously has gone back to the count back of the individual time trial around Monaco and, of course, the team time trial today. But it's got to be infinitesimal because they're both in exactly the same second.
Well, the tenths of a second are only used for this very purpose, to decide the wear of the maillot jaune. In the times used in the classification, they will be equal. It'll be 0 seconds for these two now, and everybody else will be behind them. Cancellara, you don't come any closer than this to losing the maillot jaune, that is for sure. He's pretty happy with that. And he did it himself. It was a team time trial, but he did it himself. Let's have a look at the Hampton Hotel's overall standings. Cancellara, there you are, 0 seconds to Lance. If only we could have blinked a little bit quicker, he'd have been up in yellow. Alberto Conto, his teammate, is third. Andries Kloden, the teammate, is fourth. Levi Leipheimer, the teammate, is fifth. All Astanas. Then we go to a new team. Garmin Slipstream's Bradley Wiggins is in sixth place. He loses 1 place today. Zubeldia is seventh. Tony Martin goes from second down to eighth. Dave Zabriskie is in ninth, and David Miller on Garmin Slipstream, the British rider there, completes the top 10, but 1:07 back there. It's time that counts. Christian van der Velde is 1:16 back of the top two. Roman Kreuziger 1:31 at the top two. So, you know, at the end of the day, it's all about time, and Lance is exactly the same time now as Fabian Cancellara. We just wasted 4 days. He's gained nothing.
He's gained nothing at all, but it's going to make it pretty exciting over the next couple of days, because if there's ever a split in the main field, this man will be looking for it. He found it yesterday. That's what leapfrogged him up to become third place overall. And he probably, in the back of his mind, was always dreaming that once again he could pull that yellow tunic onto his shoulders.
Well, this is the big day out for Astana. They looked like a top team when they got out there. They quickly slotted into the work. Armstrong, number 22, just did his pace at the front, slipped to the back, joined in at the back end, went back up to the front and drove again. He was seen to be in action. This is a man of 37 years of age who has got great form, so don't think he's going to drop away from the scene when we go into the mountains. I think it's going to be a fantastic tour for Astana now.
Well, Armstrong coming up to the line in fifth place, and quite eerie, really, because it's the fifth place rider that stops the clock in the team time trial, and Armstrong himself was number 5 across the line there. This is a face of a man who hasn't suffered like this since 2005, but I think this performance today by him and Team Astana has seriously announced that he is back.
And as always, you thank your team. It's a big team effort. As Paul said, the fifth man over was Lance himself. There's different types of pain, as Lance will tell you. This is good pain because you're winning the race, and that makes you feel good even though you are suffering. Let's have a look at the green jersey competition and break away for a moment. This is Mark Cavendish. There was no points today for the green jersey, so he keeps the lead.
Well, he may well have a chance to come out again tomorrow and prove to us why he's becoming known as the fastest man in the world on 2 wheels, because it's a reasonably flat course tomorrow as the riders head down towards Perpignan, right on the border of Spain, before we head down the day after to Barcelona.
Well, yesterday was a special holiday in the Isle of Man. It was called a Tynwald Day, and Tynwald Day, that's the name of the Manx government. And we didn't know it at the time, I'll confess. I wish we had, because, of course, Mark Cavendish won his second stage yesterday. Now, let's talk about tomorrow as we continue our journey across the bottom end of France. We're heading to Spain. We're not quite there yet. We're heading down for a restart at Le Cap d'Agde on the beach again. And then we go down from Le Cap d'Agde. This is a good route, this one, Paul, but as you say, a bit flat.
A bit flat, but going inland, it might get a little bit dangerous because there's 1 or 2 little undulations on the course for the riders before they head into Perpignan. The last 40 kilometres are pan flat, so really it should be a day for the sprinters.
I know it's one that Mark Cavendish has on his little list if he can win it. The distance is 122 miles. Don't forget, our live coverage starts at the usual time, 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, and our expanded coverage in the evening coming to you as normal at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Now, let me tell you, we haven't had time to get Lance away from all the press down there, but we have got an interview with him tonight. He'll be on our program tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern with Bob and with Craig, and we've also got an interview with Fabian Cancellara. 2 men talking about no time at all today in the team time trial. They go out tomorrow on 0 time. The battle continues. If Lance can outsprint Fabian by 6 feet tomorrow, he'll be in the yellow jersey. You can't get a closer race than that. We've had a great day on Montpellier, and we'll see you all tomorrow from Perpignan. Goodbye.
Sometimes